honestly, Mike, I think I'm building a tolerance to the sedative. Like I don't feel as foggy this time. Do you know where the fuck we are?
No, but I know the red lights. It's solid now, so it's recording now.
Oh, wonderful.
We did talk for 2 hours without the recorder going, so.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, so.
So, I'm guessing, Mike, that we're in Italy, judging by all of these Leaning Tower of Pisa souvenirs around us.
You think that's all these boxes of Leaning Tower of Pisas has something to do with us being in Italy?
I mean, judging by the last few weeks, probably. I can't tell for all of you. Oh, hello, listeners. For all of you listening in, I'm assuming we're in Italy. I can't really tell because we're currently in a van with the windows blacked out.
Yeah, there's just one little light, like pinhole of light coming through that we know it's daytime, so we can see the sun. But it's pretty much solitary confinement in this van, and we've only been able to determine that these are Leaning Tower of Pisa statues by feeling them.
you could feel
the
slight slant to them.
Yeah, we can feel a slight slant, so we're hoping they're Leaning Towers of Pisas and not something else. So, wait a second. Hold on. I hear somebody outside the door.
Hey!
What?
No
oh my God.
way! What are you guys doing here?
Julie.
Oh my, I just paid $10 to get, well, €10 to get this Colosseum tour, and here you guys are in a van in the middle of the Colosseum.
Julie, what Colosseum?
Yes, in Rome.
Wait,
what are you doing here?
We're in the Colosseum? Like, where are we in the Colosseum?
In the middle of the Colosseum.
How the hell?
Oh my God.
How did they get a van in the middle of the Colosseum? Jesus. Julie, what are you doing here?
Wait, hold on. Oh my God, who is that guy right there with the camera?
Oh my God!
Oh no.
It's Eddie Deason!
No, Julie, don't get near.
No, Eddie
Oh, great. Now we're all locked in the fucking van.
Christ. Julie,
he touched me. Ew.
I'm so sorry.
Do you hear that ringing? Oh my God. Bobby,
Julie,
is that in your pocket? Or?
Is it mine?
I think...
I think
All
we should
right.
answer
Let me
it.
just... Hello?
Hello, boys and Julie. How are you?
Been better. This is not my top vacation, I can say.
Julie, I knew you were in Italy. Well, the boys were gonna be here. And look it, you came to the Colosseum on the right day, didn't you?
You could say that.
You didn't find it suspicious that somebody came up to you on the street and said, "Hey, look at that, the Colosseum, you won a free ticket."
I still had to pay for that ticket, by the way.
That scans.
Okay, well,
That sounds about right.
I'm gonna have to talk to Deason about that. Yes, hello, all of you are in a van, and Bobby and Mike, you've watched the movie for this week, have you not? Your mission, as you have chosen to accept it, or not chosen, is to watch The Tough Ones, 1976. You watched the movie, correct?
Oh, I've seen that movie.
You've seen that movie?
Yes, what an odd coincidence.
How fortuitous that you got locked in a van with us.
Oh.
Not the word I'd use, but all right.
Well, I'll tell you this, if you record the episode in under 2 hours, you'll have just enough air in that van to finish your episode and get out alive. Crown out.
Hello?
Okay, I guess he's gone, so...
He's getting real Saw about this shit.
Holy shit.
Speaking of Saw, where the hell is man?
You know, we left him at that rub tug.
He can still be there, can he?
Seems months ago, it was weeks ago, but...
I hope he's okay.
I have no idea, so... Oh well.
Well, when in Rome, I guess we'll have to, yeah. It was my last bits of air. I'm still throwing out stupid jokes.
Well,
My tour will come find us eventually, probably within 2 hours, I would hope.
Yeah. But in the meantime, hello and welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
I'm Bobby Trippett.
I'm Julie Siegler.
And today we're talking about 1976's The Tough Ones.
Recognize it? I shit it out just for you.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Dad, I made the team! But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
What is it, knocker?
No real rhythm. We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love funny games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
How the hell would women live? I'm horny.
And maybe Daddy would have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
It's for jacking off. Come on, just step on the gas before we get creamed. And
So, guys, we're sitting in a van in the middle of the Coliseum with blacked out windows and one little pinhole of light shining through, and we're all sitting around this red light, recording an episode about The Tough Ones, also called Rome Armed to the Teeth. It's recently released, I think, what is it, next month on Blu-ray?
It's coming out in the beginning of July. Grindhouse Releasing is going to be releasing it on Blu-ray. It's the same company that put out, Massacre Mafia Style and Pieces.
Oh, boy.
And a bunch of other great ones. They do great package deals. This Blu-ray is coming out with a soundtrack disc and a special bullet with the logo of the movie on it, which is pretty nice.
Oh, my God.
If you haven't watched the movie yet, there's a context to that we're going to get into.
Well, other than being really hot and sweaty in this van and running out of air, I have to say, guys, I love this movie, so I'm really excited to talk about it.
I had a really good time, too. Julie, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did, actually. It was a good watch. It actually has other names as well. I know you said Rome Armed to the Teeth and The Tough Ones. It also is called Assault with a Deadly Weapon and Brutal Justice.
That's great.
Yeah, those are just two other different cuts. And Assault with a Deadly Weapon was a U.S. release that they took out, more than 10 minutes of, all of it and tried to make it more, Americanized. So they took out all the credits. And the credits they did leave, they, replaced the names with more Americanized names, as they do with these kind of films, oddly enough. So the credit for the director or producer went to Terry Levine, who was actually just the distributor at the time of whoever was distributing it in the U.S. at that time.
Huh. That makes
That's
sense
awesome.
with what we've gone through with Italian films. They
Yeah,
don't like those
you don't want to
names.
see those, with all those I's and Z's.
So many vowels.
How do you pronounce this C? I don't know.
So many noodles in those names.
So, Bobby, you have some background for us, though? On the movie?
I do have a little. Let's get right into that. We'll start with our director, Umberto Lenzi, which is a name some people may recognize. He has 48 writing credits and 65 directing credits.
Oof.
Most of it is Poliziotteschi movies, Italian cop movies like the one we just watched, and horror films. Mostly during the 70s, he was doing cop movies with our two leads, mostly. And then come the 80s, he did a few titles that you may know. Nightmare City in 1980. Cannibal Ferox in 1981.
Oh, wow.
That one has a great soundtrack.
Cannibal what?
Ferox. Ferox.
Huh.
It's sort of his cashing in on the popularity of Cannibal Holocaust.
That was popular.
It's another one of those. It really was. Yeah. You go out in the jungle, you kill a bunch of animals, you get it all on tape.
Yeah, you can just describe all those movies as just another cannibal movie.
Basically. 1988's Ghost House, which is part of the La Casa series that we covered back in November.
With House 2 as part of it.
Absolutely.
Somehow.
And a personal favorite of mine, 1989's Nightmare Beach.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I think I might have seen that.
I believe you have it. It's also called Welcome to Spring Break, and the killer wears a motorcycle uniform.
Yes, I love that movie. That is so good. I hope we cover that someday.
I'm betting it might show up.
Okay.
And so the backstory for how Umberto Lenzi came to work on this one was producers handed him a script for a movie called Rome Has a Secret, which was like a spy actioner. And he had a flip through it, was like, this is crap. I don't want this. He felt it wasn't real enough. So he tossed it in the bin, and he told the producers he wants to do something that showed how violent Rome had become. Something gritty, something that shows what's really like out there on the streets. And so he wrote Rome Armed to the Teeth. He pounded it out in less than a week.
Yeah, I read that too.
Seems like it. I'm not surprised by that. This is like such a video game of a movie. He's and then he does this level, and then this level, and then somehow it all connects at the end. Am I right, guys?
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, he's mad about it. Every time. No matter what happens.
If there's a crime, he's there. He is Italian Bronson, the captain.
That is actually the way I explained it to you, Mike. I said this is basically an Italian Bronson movie.
Okay, I think, though, if Bronson watched this movie, he might consider it almost pornographic for himself.
It's too much for Bronson?
I think he would be like, Jill, I think you should go to bed. I don't know if we can watch this together. I'm too excited, Jill.
I can't handle this.
Either that or sometimes when they had late nights together, he'd be like, Jill, tell me about that movie again. You know, that one with the Italian guy.
Oh, man. This movie was, this was the rabbits for him. Yes. When he needs to calm down. Tell me about Officer Tansy.
Yeah, he's had a rough day. And then, and by the way, Bronson, you fucking hack with what somebody swallows in this movie. Come on, right?
Seriously. So let's talk about our Bronson, our lead actor, Mauricio Merli, who has 39 credits.
In the movie, I called him Captain because in the beginning of the movie, everybody was calling him Captain.
That's what I called him too.
Yeah, so he's Captain to me.
Yeah.
Captain, oh Captain.
In this, he
Okay.
looks so much like he looks like a blonde Kevin Kline from A Fish Called Wanda, and also Ron Burgundy, like exactly like Ron Burgundy in some parts.
Okay, but those roots are showing bad. Like, he has obviously dyed his hair blonde, but did not dye the mustache.
Now, it's fun discussing his looks. That's actually what got him the job. Most of his career, over 39 credits, were basically whatever Franco Nero said no to.
They're like, well, get that blonde guy.
It's legit. He got a career because he bore a striking resemblance to Franco Nero, who was wildly popular at the time. So if you couldn't get Franco Nero, you hired Maurizio.
You know, I gotta say, though, Maurizio gives a much better effort than Franco Nero.
Oh, yeah. It's an interesting, it's sort of the Goldilocks and the Three Bears, right? Like, Franco Nero's is too cold. Mauricio Merli's is too hot. We need something in the middle of those two guys.
And Michael Sopke is just right.
There it is. That is right. And so, some notable things that he did was he did a trilogy of films for Umberto Lenzi. Violent City, Violent Naples, and A Special Cop in Action, where he played basically this exact same character, only the name is Betty instead of Tanzi.
Oh,
And he got horribly typecast, where like all anybody wanted him to do was this movie over again. Over and over and over again. Most of his credits are just another cop movie where he looks the same, he's acting the same, the poster looks the same. He actually does a direct sequel to this film in 1977, where he and Umberto get back together and do a movie called The Cynic, the Rat, and the Fist.
Oh, well, there is a summer sequel month coming up.
Sounds like a kung fu movie.
It definitely does. And they even brought back his co-star, Tomas Milian. Arthur Kennedy, playing Ruini is the name of Old Man. Ready for this, guys? 103 credits.
Ooh.
Been around for a very long time. Has a Tony Award for Death of a Salesman.
Aw.
Being
What?
part of the original cast.
And it's in Italy?
No.
Oh, okay.
Arthur Kennedy.
Well,
Also has
They
a
changed
Golden
their names,
Globe for
Bobby, you don't know.
1955's Trial, and is a 5-time Academy Award nominee.
holy shit.
Also had a role in Lawrence of Arabia in 1962.
Oh my
Fantastic
God.
Voyage in 1966, The Sentinel in 1977, and although his name appears on the video box for the Italian film Rings of Fear, aka Enigma Rosso, he's not in the film or featured in the credits.
Huh.
That's how popular his ass is. They just threw his name on the box.
They're like, he visited
really
set
sell.
one day. He came by to see his friend, so technically he was kind of in the movie.
So one last person I want to talk about is the villain of our story, the person who brought us to the dance here, Tomas Milian, who plays the hunchback Moretto in this movie.
He's great.
Yeah, as I call him, Hunch in my notes.
You call him Hunch.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to try to keep track of these names.
I wrote HB, but yeah.
And he has 120 credits.
Wow.
He was a BFD in Italy and other parts, but he's actually not Italian. He's a Cuban. He was the son of a Cuban general in a dictatorship.
Oh.
And at a very young age, actually saw his father arrested and then saw his father commit suicide.
Wait, he saw the suicide?
Yeah, because his dad was a general for a dictator, and things weren't going to go well. And so people have attributed that to the intensity that he gives a lot of his roles. He actually, he did a bunch of, like everybody at the time and everybody in the area, he did a lot of westerns, a lot of cop movies. But when he really started to hit his stride was when he'd do the trashier films, like the one we watched tonight. He got over with the fans because of his use of Romanesco, which, as I understand it, is basically Italian Cockney.
Oh, okay.
So he was a guy who he'd always have these intense performances. He's always playing like, petty thieves and street, hustlers and bank robbers and villains and stuff like that. But he also he spoke the language of the streets, so like the regular folks who would go to the theaters and watch him are like, this guy's just like us. I like this guy. So he'd use all the contemporary street slang and all the turns of phrase, and it endeared him very much to the Italian moviegoers. His career lasted a very, very long time, all the way up until he died in 2014. He's actually in 2000's Traffic,
Really?
He's in 91's JFK, and he's in 1997's Fools Rush In, the Matthew Perry romantic comedy.
Oh, and all these movies have a hunchback.
Yeah, he plays a hunchback with a machine gun in every single one of those.
Yeah, I remember that Matthew Perry movie where he runs into that hunchback with a machine gun.
Oh, it's the best. The last bit of trivia I want to give before we get into the actual movie itself, you guys, is that Maurizio Merli and Tomas Milian fucking hated each other.
Great, you can feel the heat on
Yes,
screen.
It is palpable. They despised each other, just did not like the cut of each other's jib, and it shows all through the movie.
Wow.
Which makes it even more interesting that they got back together for the sequel. And for a couple other films, too. They just, people liked seeing them together. Probably because they was so intense when they were on screen.
Yeah. Also money, so.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything to add there?
Nope.
No?
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody,
Yeah.
for another episode of The Grindbin.
We won't be playing the trailer because it's probably in it's in Italian. And guess what? This movie, at least the version we saw, is all in subtitles. I don't know if it's going to be dubbed in the American release or not. But
I do know that. There is the Grindhouse Releasing put out an English trailer for the upcoming Blu-ray.
Okay.
And interesting thing is the dubbing and the subtitles, like so many films, have very different lines.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we are going from the subtitle version. So we're going from the original track. So that's the version we've seen because there is no dubbed version out there from what we can find at this point.
What I want to know is if they're going to sell the soundtrack, because damn hell, that score, his like theme or whatever, when Captain's like on the prowl, so good.
I have a record that's a collection of like Italian cop movie themes that I believe it has that on there, and it has some artwork of Mauricio on the cover.
Oh, it's great.
Also, if you get the Blu-ray in July, disc 2 is the soundtrack.
Awesome.
Oh, there you go.
So they're doing it all.
So you guys want to get into the movie?
I really do. Let's
Okay.
get armed to the teeth, Mike.
So the first thing we see is the credits start rolling, and we're in the city. We're driving around, and some guy with a hat, he gets out of a car in the city, and he makes a call on a payphone. He calls...
Did you notice, though, while we're driving around, we are doing POV, scoping out every bank in the city?
Yes, yeah. We're going through, we're looking at the banks. And then this guy gets out of the car. He calls on a payphone. He tells the captain that the dog will bark tonight at 7 p.m. at the same place. And then he hangs up. And then the guy... I like this, though, is that when they cut to the guy on the other end, he almost seems confused as all hell.
What the hell does that mean?
Like, I was like... He goes, "Sir, this is a Domino's?"
The man who knew too little or too much. Which one was that?
Too Little with Steve Martin.
Yeah.
So then we go to Captain, right? Our boy, the Captain. He parks his car and he talks to the hat guy. And he's like, "Hey, look, there's going to be this thing going down tonight, but I don't want to have my cover be blown, okay? So don't compromise me. I'm telling you what's going on, all right?"
And the big thing about this tonight, what's going on, is that this guy Farrinder is going to be there.
Dun dun.
And doesn't
And,
this hat
this
guy say, like, you know, hey, just make sure, like, the cops kind of stay away from the deal, like, keep it low?
Yeah, he doesn't want to blow this up too big, because the ripple effect could be devastating.
As soon as that guy leaves, as soon as hat guy leaves, Captain just gets in the car, picks up the radio, and goes, "Yeah, I'm going to need backup. I'm going to need a lot of
Give
backup."
as many as you can get.
Every car in the fucking city right here, 7 p.m.
Bring the paddy wagon, bring the corridor.
Yeah.
It's going down.
So we go to this rich people casino, which is like in some
it's
sort
like
of...
an underground gambling operation.
Yeah, and so like we're in some sort of casino. It's like in the basement of somewhere or something. It's really fancy and everything. But then just Captain and a bunch of cops just break into the front door and they like punch a whole bunch of dudes, right? And they're like,
the first guy that gets involved, like the second the door, they ring the doorbell and like Mr. Cotter goes to answer. And just immediately the captain shoves his ass on the ground.
Yep.
Okay, and so Captain's signature move is slapping people. So like how we said that Bruce Lee, bitch slapped the Cobra infamously, Captain just goes around backhanding people this whole
like
movie.
A slightly open fist. It's not like a fully open palm slap. It's kind of like he curls his fingers in, but his palm is open.
Like a G.I. Joe hand?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like wrestling rules. You can't have the closed fist.
You know what it is?
Slightly open.
It is just like an action figure. His hand is forever in the grip of holding a gun.
Yes.
Yeah,
Even when he's not holding one, his hand is still in the shaped like he's pulling a trigger.
Yeah. And so he's slapping guys left and right. He's fucking trashing this place at this point,
He hasn't asked a single question. He's just running around punching people.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden the cops are
Welcome
like,
to
okay,
this movie.
so like, what are we doing here, Captain? And he's like, all right, everybody, hey, get your fucking papers out. Get your papers. And then he says to one guy, he looks like he goes, arrest about 2 or 3 of them and
Yeah.
get the papers from the rest. You know, hey, we're going to...
cart a couple of them off. So
Yeah.
this looks legit.
And then all of a sudden, outside, he says, look, a one-armed man.
No, he says to his partner, his friend or whatever, he's like, don't turn around, Farander's one-armed man is here. Because he's like, he knows the guy's gonna stare, so he's like, don't turn around, don't look.
But
It's
there's Yeah, but how do you not look when you go, hey, don't look, but there's a one-armed man behind you?
Yeah, exactly. Immediately he looks, because that's what you do.
But he's also not a one-armed man. He's just wearing a glove.
Yeah.
I was very confused. I was like, I don't know if the subtitles are off or something. Like, maybe that got lost in
Yeah, he
translation.
absolutely has 2 arms. One of
Yeah.
them is just a little, like he's cradling it a little bit.
Yeah, he wears a glove. He wears like a Michael Jackson glove or
Yeah.
something on his other hand.
And so he walks over to the guy that we're supposed to keep a low profile about and goes, hey, Savelli! And he punches him right in the face.
Yeah.
Right in the
Yeah.
face. And then pokes him in the face with his gun.
Yeah, just like puts it under his chin.
Yeah, yeah. And so they bring him back, right, to an interrogation room. And they have nothing to charge him on, so he's going to have to get out of here. Because also he brought his lawyer, and Captain is not pleased about that. He's really fucking mad about this whole thing.
And here's where we establish, this Farrinder guy that Captain Tansy is all about. And that he's basically handling everything. He's been indicted for 6 robberies in as many banks. He does, drug trafficking, prostitution. This guy does everything. If
And
it's crime
kidnapping.
and
Yeah,
kidnapping,
straight to the top, this guy.
all crime goes back to Farrinder. And so he's like, all right, dead hand, where's Farrinder?
That's what I called him the rest of the
Dead hand?
Yeah. Old dead hand.
He gave him the old dead hand. It just means, and since he has 2 hands, it just means he has a really weak handshake. You ever had someone give you the dead hand? You want to punch him like you're Captain Tansy. Well, yeah, the guy says, we're going to lodge a complaint against you for your insults, and he starts shouting, shut up, and he has to get pulled off of the guy.
My favorite part of that is when Cap calls the other guy mustache, even though, like, Captain's
Right.
mustache is, like, way more substantial. And that is not the last time people will be calling each other mustache, even though, like, half the cast has a mustache.
Yeah, I thought I have that in my notes, too, because the guy's like, we'll complain. He goes, shut up, mustache.
Like, who you calling mustache?
And he goes, your client had a gun. And the guy explains, yeah, he had it with a permit, and he wasn't using it at the time. And then when his partner goes, that's true, he starts throttling the guy.
Yeah, he does not like it. Like, he's like Bronson and whatever it was called with that serial killer. Like, it's just
10 to
when
midnight.
somebody... Yeah, 10 to midnight. When some lawyer shows up, his blood just starts boiling, man. He can't deal with it. And so, yeah, eventually they have to let him go. Because they have nothing to hold him on. And so his old cop partner friend says, let's go out for a cup of coffee, right? Well, calm down. So they pull up in front
I feel
of
like they do that a lot.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
Italy.
Oh, yeah. Although,
You do that every 10 minutes.
I just meant because the captain is constantly losing his shit on everybody.
Yeah, but who
That
says,
might be
hey,
it.
Captain, let's calm you down. Get some caffeine in you, huh?
In
This is
Italy,
the only
that's
guy
how they
who would
do
get
it.
calmer.
So they pull up in front of a building, and this is what I read. I go, I guess old cop is going to go check it out or something, but Captain is not concerned about him because he sees some guy on a moped drive up and snatch a necklace off a lady's neck.
I
Yeah,
thought
we
he
got a
just pushed her
purse snatcher.
over. I did not see him take anything. I thought they were just like hoodlums pushing this lady over.
Just
Oh, I saw
rascals.
I swear I
Spread
saw him like
knockings.
grab a necklace and just pull it off her neck.
No, he
Yeah.
snatched a purse out of her hand.
Okay.
Something
and then
like
this
that.
lady took a bump on top of her kid.
Yeah, she did.
Like she
And the
just
kid's like,
splashed him right on the
"Mommy."
sidewalk.
Then what ensues is like the high-speed scooter chase that I've waited for my whole life because I ride a scooter, and this moment was like amazing because the scooter's so agile. Like you're never gonna catch him, right? It's the perfect prime. It's the perfect getaway vehicle. Oh, but then he just like rams his car into him, and they
Because the
fall
captain
over.
throws it into gear.
But
And
the thing
he
is,
straight
like,
up-
so he just left old man at that coffee shop or something, right?
He has a habit of ditching people.
Do you
Hey,
think
you know-
that old man came out with 2 cups in his hand? He's like, oh, what the fuck,
In
man?
the
Again?
pursuit of justice.
Yeah, this happens all the time.
All the time.
You can't leave him unattended. He's gonna go find someone to beat up.
Yeah, Rome is a dirty city. It needs to be cleaned up.
That's right. Crime is a disease.
Yeah,
So yeah, he clips the moped, and then he yells "scumbag," and he picks this guy up by the throat. He's about to give him a fatality, and then he realizes it's just a teenage boy.
Oh, it's a baby.
Well, the reason he stops is only because the guy looks at him and goes, "What the hell are you doing? You're a cop." And he's
goes,
like,
"Oh,
"Oh, yeah."
Definitely
Shit.
not why he stopped.
He snaps out of his blood rage for a second.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, wait, God damn it, there's laws. Oh,
Oh,
fuck."
I'm sorry. I was about
Yeah.
to throw you in the river.
And that's when you do learn, yeah, it was a juvenile, so we're now in juvenile court, okay?
Yeah, that's where we meet Anna.
Because there was 2 kids on that scooter.
He looks
Yeah.
just like Frodo.
It's Frodo and Sam.
Yeah.
These 2 kids.
Yeah.
They,
Yeah, I
they were
just
they
called
were they
them-
were grabbing the purse to carry the ring.
It's Frodo and Shaggy Sam.
In my notes, I just called him Crime Boy and Scooter Boy.
Crime Boy and Scooter.
Yeah, it's Scooter Boy, but Scooter's fine.
So Anna is the juvenile court judge, and she's interviewing them. She finds out. She asks, where's your father? And the kid goes, "Oh, he's in jail. What did he do? He killed my mother. And where do you live? With friends. Well, how do you live? I pick pockets. I steal. And he drives the scooter. He's pretty good too. He used to be a mechanic." And so
Sad
Anna,
story.
it is a sad story. So sad, in fact, that Anna scribbles down on her notes, favorable notice, release on bail.
So, I guess juvenile hall in Italy is more just like Judge Dredd. Like, it's just one person that does everything. Like, you just go to one person. They're like, "Hey, guess you're out on bail."
Judge Anna gives it a thumbs up or a thumbs down after a brief conversation. She's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, you seem like good boys. Run along."
And so the next thing we see after they get out on bail is these criminals leap out of a car and they rob, is I right, the weirdest looking bank I've ever seen? Because
Well, it's not a bank. It's a. I had to do some translating based on some signage in the background. It's basically a horse racing agency. It's where you go to bet on the horses.
Oh, good job. Wow, Detective Bobby over here.
Chief Inspector Babetto.
Sorry.
that
That's what it
almost
is.
makes less sense. Because what I'm seeing is a room full of random offices, and in those offices is like stacks of money.
Of money.
And I'm like,
Just
what the
piles
frick?
of it.
Yeah, because I was like, what? At banks in Italy, they just put the money on the tables and various cubicles around the place. They're like, "Hey, if you need
like
some,
it.
come over here,"
How much you want to cut off of this for you?
Yeah, but then that makes even less sense. So there's no just like main desk for the horse betting. It's like you got to go like sit down at a guy's office. He's like, "All right, so what horse you want?" It's like, what?
They bring the horse in for an interview.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on? But we don't even get to know because some poor guard, he's reading the newspaper, okay? He never even looks up. He never looks up from his paper, and they already shoot his ass up.
And
Yeah.
then they run off like firing wildly into the air.
Yeah.
Rome is truly armed to the teeth, you guys.
And they just shoot more walls. They don't shoot people. They just shoot walls and paper, and then they run, and they, like, leave all the money.
It's like old-timey bank robbers. They're just like, "Yeah, see?" And they start firing into the air. And they run away without grabbing any of the cash.
You feel like these guys got out of there, and they're like, what did we forget to... Oh, fuck! We forgot the money. God damn it.
We got to run back in and shoot another guard.
Yeah. So then later on, we're surveying the damage, okay?
No,
so we're
we,
here
we
later.
cut to like somebody else watching the movie that we're watching, and I had like a moment that I was like, what's happening? I thought it was like cutting back to the beginning when they were like in the car or in the phone
man.
booth or something, but
Caputo and Tansy put on Tough Ones the video to find out what happened.
Because they're here afterwards. They're at the crime scene now, right? So Captain and Old Man are here, okay?
Yeah.
And he looks pissed. Like, Captain is fucking pissed. He's walking around, just his blood's starting to boil. He's looking at the dead body. He's all mad. And the old cop is arguing with him, and Captain says, like, "Look, man, we need to start breaking some rules around here because we're not able to catch these goddamn criminals. These laws we have to obey."
They're not afraid of anything, the criminals. They're taking advantage of our powerlessness, of our scruples.
it's making us weak.
And they get, right before they have this argument, we get a little bit of details about the crime. We find out that one of the guys in the balaclavas had an artificial hand, so they're like, "We know who that is.
Oh, yeah, old Dead Hand.
It's Dead Hand."
Yeah.
So, we know that it's the guys we've been looking for. And snarky-ass Captain Tansy looks to his old partner, goes, "Well, we've got another body, but at least we respected the law."
Yeah, he's going off like 5-minute manifesto about how there's too many laws in the country and he can't police well enough.
They need a special squad to
Yeah.
like take people out.
He makes the big pitch to these guys. He's like, "We need to create a brigade powered by the magistrate to fight crime with freedom of action."
So they do exactly that, but now I call this man who they meet with, I call him Mr. Italy, because he's the man in charge of everything, apparently, because he can write laws from his office.
That ain't bad.
So they meet with Mr. Italy, right? They take it to the top, and the captain's begging him to allow, he's like, "Look, we gotta break some fucking balls around this town, okay? There's other countries in Europe, do you see what they're doing in Germany right now? They can, basically fucking kill guys on the street. I mean, come on, man.
One of my lines that I love from this is he goes, even Switzerland showing no mercy to muggers.
Yeah.
Even Switzerland.
He's like, come on, Mr. Italy. We got to do something about this. He's like, I want to be able to slap juveniles in the face. I want to be able to fucking pile drive a guy through a goddamn roulette wheel. I want to do what I need to do, man.
And, Mr. Italy says, no, we can't just start acting like the criminals. Imagine the press we'd get. And Captain Tansy goes, the press! And he's about to choke slam him. But then there's a commotion in the hallway.
Basically, they're talking about this Savelli guy, right? And how he's walking all over them here in Italy. So we have a new crime boss, right? So we have Farrandel, and we now have Savelli.
Yeah, it all goes back to Farrinder. These are all the goons that are working for Farrinder. This is like Dick Tracy.
Yeah, but then they'll keep talking about Savelli now, and where's
Savelli's dead hand.
Okay, so they're like, Savelli's walking all over us, we need to take this guy out.
Because we know he's working for Farrinder.
Yeah, and there is that part, the old guy's like, man, we can't act like the criminals, and Mr. Italy's like, yeah, there's laws, and what'll the press say? But Captain doesn't give a damn! He's a man of action, okay?
Yeah, fuck your press. I'm going to shoot somebody.
He's like...
But then, there's a...
I would say this movie came out 1 year before Death Wish. Otherwise, he'd be like, have you seen that movie Out of America with Paul Kersey going out there killing muggers?
So they go outside to find out what's been going on in the hallway.
Yeah, some bratty kid won't sign.
Some rich kid.
Something.
Oh, Topher Grace.
Yeah. I had that down too.
Yeah.
Topher Grace is refusing to sign the statement, and he wants to see his lawyer. And so the captain goes, well, what did he do? And they say, he left an old man dead in a crosswalk.
Okay, I got questions.
Left an old man for dead, not dead.
Okay, I got questions.
Okay.
So, because I was confused at that line, I'm like, all right, hold on a second. He left an old man dead in the crosswalk, right? Now, did he hit him, or did he walk past him?
That's what I thought too. I was like, well,
is there an old man laying on the ground?
Yeah, because I'm like,
I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to touch somebody. I don't know what they got, man.
I don't want to make it worse that way.
Yeah.
That guy might be armed to the teeth.
Who knows?
I don't mess with that. So yeah, he left an old man for dead in a crosswalk, and Tansy's looking at this guy, and he goes, and the rich kid goes, I don't give a shit. My daddy's got all the best lawyers. They're gonna get me out of here soon. And Tansy just does this long stare at this kid.
Yeah.
And he almost smiles at him. It's a very Bronson moment.
Oh yes, 100%. He just gives him that and then walks off.
His mustache just stares him down for a minute.
Oh yeah.
And so
as he was walking away, the mustache looked back one more time.
So then we go to Captain and Anna at home. So Anna is the captain's girlfriend. Okay.
We find this out because the scene starts with him lighting Anna a post-coital cigarette.
Yeah.
And they're in the afterglow, and he gets up, he's putting his pants on, he turns around and goes, I just can't stand cynicism amongst young people.
It's his, man, do opposites attract. Right? Because they got a lot in common, I guess, in certain areas, but man, don't bring up politics.
Nah.
Because,
Can't we just eat dinner?
Yeah, we'll find out about that. But no, he immediately starts going into, how he hates young people, and she's just like, look, you need to calm down, okay? And you need to realize that people are people. Like,
he goes, oh, yeah, you're always looking for these extenuating circumstances. Society, family, all that sociological bullshit.
Yeah, he calls it, psychobabble. And she's just like, okay, well, people are people. You can't just say, this guy's good, this guy's bad. Everybody's got a story.
And I love that, though, that the only point she tried to make there was, like, it's not all black and white. It's not just good guys and bad guys. People are human beings. He's like, this woo-woo bullshit you psychological people are all into.
And then the phone rings. It's work. He's like, well, I got to go to work. I'll meet you at the restaurant later. And so the next thing we see is, those crime boys, Crime Boy and Scooter.
It's Frodo and Scruffy Kid, from a minute ago.
No, man, they didn't make it.
No, they never delivered the ring.
Yeah.
They, ran into a truck.
Or a truck, something.
Okay, so is that what happened? Because at first it showed their heads, and I was like, oh, he got shot in the head, because there's blood coming out of his head. And then, no, you find out, they just ran it. Apparently they tried to rob somebody, and
they robbed an old man.
Yeah.
They were trying to. They left him for dead in the street.
Well, whatever happened, the scientific squad is on their way to figure it out.
Yeah.
So the science squad.
Okay, because Captain shows up at the scene. He's automatically pissed because he looks at it and goes,
God.
I just arrested these two idiots 2 days ago.
Well, who let him out? And they went, the juvenile judge is all, Anna?
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, we're stupid. We're killing ourselves at work." And
It is a whole
this is
rant
where-
about
it goes
psychobabble
far.
feelings.
It goes far. I don't know if you have this
No,
in
like
your notes, dude.
directly
No.
at her though. Like
Yeah.
It's
he
not about
directs
psychobabble.
these sentiments about this stupid.
I wrote down the line.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he, go ahead,
We're-
please.
We're killing ourselves at work, and a stupid cunt feels sorry for them. And I'm like, whoa, your girlfriend is who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I was like, excuse me?
And his partner even says, "You know, you're talking about Anna, right?" And he goes, No. I'm talking about two young boys that are dead by excess of humanity."
And do you think old man's like, all right, Cap, let's go get a cup of coffee, huh? Let's calm down,
right.
get
I
some
think-
caffeine in you.
I think it's time for a cappuccino.
We just need an
What do you think?
espresso for you right now. Just a little double. Just take the
man.
edge off.
Yeah, they're dead of excess humanity.
Could you imagine him going to the doctor and they're just like, your blood pressure is, man.
And then the second he says that, he's up against the wall with a hand on his throat. I'm sorry.
He's like, all right, fine. Have it as much espresso as you want. 20 a day. It's fine.
And so we cut to a nice dinner.
Oh,
mime
hold
cafe
on.
is what I
Before you
wrote.
start that, don't just say dinner. This is the most awkward date night of all time,
Yes,
Bobby.
oh my
This
God.
is,
Thank
wow.
you. It's a romantic dinner with mimes serving them in their stripy shirts, and the two of them, and also a guy from his office, because why
Yeah,
not?
old cop just joins them for dinner.
Yes.
I have nowhere else to go.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I brought old cop because he's on work with me, so sorry, he's gonna eat here too.
He's a service partner. He calms me. It's an emotional support partner.
Yeah, and you know how this dinner starts? Is Captain just fucking screaming at the table, like he's pounding his fucking hand on the table, just being like, you fucking people with your feelings, these fucking juveniles getting up.
Yeah.
And old cop's like,
His
dude.
line is actually, leniency is only in favor of the criminals. That's how we're starting our romantic dinner.
And old cop's like, dude, calm down. First of all, we're in a fucking restaurant. He's like, everybody's looking around like people are staring. They're like, look, they're staring at this guy who's obviously got really weird dyed blonde hair, screaming at the top of his lungs in an Italian restaurant.
He's got a gun strapped to his mustache.
The waiters are dressed like they're gondola pilots in Venice or something. And that's a
Gondola
weird thing.
pilots? I'm sorry, I was gonna let
You
that
gotta
one go.
tip
but-
your gondola pilots, folks.
I was wondering, I was like, so I guess Italy also has really cheesy American Italian themed restaurants? Like, what the hell's going on? This looks like a fucking Olive Garden or something.
This movie's actually in Vegas.
And yeah, he's going on and on. He's screaming, and everybody's like, "Can you please calm down, Captain? Get this man some coffee. Can you please?"
It's enough to get Anna to want to leave. So she just grabs her bag and she goes.
Yeah, and old guy's like, "Hey, Anna's leaving." He's like, "Let her go." Captain just says, "Let her go."
Specifically, he says, "Let her go. She'll calm down."
Yes, this emotional woman.
And I fell out of my chair when he did that.
But I do like this: is that date
It's like
night
she's really
continues.
wound up.
Date night continues, and it's just between Captain and old cop now. So
I mean, honestly, try some of this pasta.
they had a Lady in the Tramp type of thing where they both sucked on the same noodle. And...
Only they rolled the meatball with their guns.
So then we got from the worst date night of all time to a meat factory.
Oh,
I put
God.
it.
Best date night of all time.
These cuts were like jump scares, honestly. Like we just cut to like this disgusting animal
Yeah, we're
guts.
legit cutting open cow carcasses at the meat packing.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so gross.
So we watch a hunchback man
Slice open a dead cow.
Slice open a cow. And
like for a long time.
yeah, until Captain and old cop show up, and I'm like, uh-oh, here we go.
And they, as they park, they notice a pretty nice car parked outside. And they're like,
course.
"That's Moretto's car." And they come over, and he leans in and puts something in the glove box.
Yeah, because that's what we want our heroes to do, our protagonists, right?
We're planting evidence immediately.
We
They know
love
where
it.
this is all gonna go.
Yeah.
Look,
So then
ma'am,
we get
and,
our first official introduction of the Hunchback Butcher Man, which I really like him. He's got a lot of spunk.
He's so
You
good.
know what I just
and one of his
realized?
coworkers come. What's that?
Guys, this is the original Shield. He's the original Vic Mackey. Because the whole point of the fucking Shield was they had to create a special task force to get these gang members.
Oh man!
Holy shit!
And then the music comes in.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
Oh my god! I never thought of it, but yeah, we're dealing with Italian Vic Mackey. This isn't even Bronson. This is Vic Mackey Italian.
Man,
Mackey.
it all comes back to Officer Tansy.
Holy shit!
So yeah, one of the Hunchback's coworkers swings, but peeks around the carcass and goes, "Hey, be careful, man! The pigs are here."
Uh-oh. Yeah, and Hunchback just immediately, he's talking trash when the cop and the old man show up.
This exchange is great. We need to get into this because this is good, and this is our first introduction to how this guy is. And so they come by and they go, "Hello," and he just keeps working, just no-sells it.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, and obviously this is really pissing off the captain. And he goes, polite people say it back. And the Hunchback turns and goes, when polite people bother a surgeon while he's working, they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, are we disturbing you, Dr. Moretto?" And me, since I'm polite, I answer, "No, not at all. What can I do for you?"
Ooh.
And oh god, Tansy's got his gun out.
Yeah. So as I read, I go, Captain doesn't give a fuck if you're handicapped. In fact, if you're handicapped, he will kick you right in the balls in front of your coworkers.
Right in the balls.
Right in the balls, and then slap you around a little bit.
Because he says, "Why have you been giving information to Savelli?" And he goes, "I never heard of that guy." And he goes, "All right, be careful, pal. Your hump might not bring you good luck anymore." And
I don't know if this is an Italian thing, but yeah, the lucky hump is referenced more than once.
Touch my hump. But they go, "All right, we know that was it." Because he says he's never heard of Savelli. They go, "Well, Savelli is married to your sister." And he goes, "Hey, leave my sister alone. She can fuck whoever she wants." And that's when he gets hit in the dick.
That's the kick of the nuts.
Yeah, he kicks him right in the balls in front of all his coworkers, and everybody's like, "Ooh, shit."
Oh, and he says as he's on the ground, clutching himself, "You're saying my hump is worthless, then leave me my balls at least."
And so they've had enough of Hunch, right? And they bring him out. They're like, "All right, well, let's look in your car, see if you got anything in there, huh?" And so, Bobby, they go to the car.
Oh my god, they find a baggie in the glove box.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they had planted that, and I was like, what the shit? That was when I realized that they planted it, and I was like, oh, those dirty cops. Are these supposed to be our protagonists? Oh.
Oh, I thought you meant that when you got to that scene because you didn't see him plant it, you're like, fine police work. They knew this guy was dirty.
It took me a minute. I'm sure that went through my head.
Intuition.
Because, old cop is supposed to be the guy who's playing by the rules, but he was also there when they planted evidence.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, his hands are dirty, too.
Yeah. But now they got enough to arrest Hunch because they got a baggie of something. I assume it's some sort of drugs, heroin or something. And I wrote in my notes, I go, if we pan down right now, Captain would be sporting the biggest tent you've ever seen. He is so goddamn rhino hard right now.
Oh, he's going to bust right through his pants in the next scene.
Yeah, well, and then Hunch's sister runs out as they're taking him away, and she's like, "No, you can't take him now."
That was a very, very good.
Because we got
like she was here.
Oh my god.
We got the old classic Italian zoom on that too. But now we're back at Italian PD, okay, and Captain and old man.
Yeah, we're in the interrogation room. Yeah, and Tansy goes, "Why don't we go back to the old ways?" And just starts wailing on him.
Yes.
Holy shit!
He's doing his G.I. Joe slap. Yeah,
and he keeps going like, "Say it, say it!" And he's like, "Well, what am I even supposed to say? What, that I like it?" And to which Tansy goes, "I like it, sir." And he hits him again.
Yeah, and then Captain says something too about "Hey, I got some new laws, and the new laws allowed me to keep you in here for 48 hours without a reason."
Now imagine just you and me here for 48 hours.
Yeah, are we supposed to like him? As he's beating this crippled person? I don't know.
I don't know who the good guy is anymore.
At this point, I'm on Hunch's side when he goes, "I'm going to need my lawyer." And then I'm like, "Oh, no, don't say that. Don't say that in front of Captain."
Oh, no, please don't.
It's going to push him right over.
So the beating continues, and it's rough.
Yeah, it goes on for a long time.
It's rough because the actors legit don't like each other, so he's really laying it in.
Yeah, but those open hand slaps, Bobby, they don't leave many bruises or cuts now, do they?
No, they don't, Vic. And
So he's mercilessly beating him, and the guy's begging for mercy, and then he's like, wait, I need to take a pee break.
Yeah.
And they're like, damn it. You know what? Fine. You know what? Old cop, take him to the bathroom. Bring him right back.
And so old cop takes him to the bathroom. Okay. And again, man, Europe has the largest bathroom stalls I've ever seen.
It is so nice.
Yeah, it's like a 1-bedroom apartment, man.
And it's a little single occupancy with the door locked.
But
it's a nice little...
What I have to ask is, why do men always have to make such a mess of the bathroom? Because he just starts peeing everywhere. This is every experience I've had going into the men's room. Is it looks just like
Why
this
the hell
guy
do you
was
keep
just
going
in
in the
there.
men's room?
Hold on a second. You've been in the men's room where some guy's in the stall screaming about how he's going to piss his pants?
No, I get there like right after he was there because men's
just everything's
restrooms
wet.
are a mess.
They always are.
Yeah,
It
they are.
never
Don't
matters.
understand.
But but this scene is pretty awesome, actually, because it's just, you know, to let an actor just take it for a walk for a second. Because he's pacing around the bathroom, he's having a nervous breakdown, he's screaming about pigs and bastards, and then suddenly he stops in front of the mirror, he looks at himself in the face, he gets real calm, and goes, "I'm gonna destroy this son of a bitch."
Is that after he pisses his pants?
Yeah, he's running around shouting and screaming and pissing in the air.
He says,
like he's talking about the South Sea Queen.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna piss myself so that like when they go beat me, it's gonna be worse for them. like
the optics of it. They literally beat a man until he pissed on the floor.
that, or he's like, well, how do you feel about slapping a man that's pissed his pants? And Captain's like, I don't give a shit.
Now your hands are wet.
But yeah, Bobby looks in the mirror.
Yeah, he has his moment of he has his weird like focus moment, and he takes off his watch. He's got a metal watch, and he goes, "I'm gonna have this guy fired." And he's fingering his wrist with his other hand, and he goes, "All right, come on, have some guts, pal, have some guts." And he starts cutting into his own wrist.
Oh yeah, it's a weird revenge. Is he apparently gonna slit his wrist in a
Well,
bathroom?
he gets out though. That's his whole plan.
Yeah.
They got to take him to the hospital.
And he yells, "I've killed myself, motherfuckers!"
And the old man's like, "Oh my
Take
god!"
that.
And so then we just like cut in the middle of the chaos to Mr. Italy has the captain's office, and this is what we
And he
hear
goes-
already. He goes, nothing bad. He'll be out in 2 days." So it's like, okay.
And then, you know, Tansy's like, "Well, what then?" And Mr. Italy goes, "Well, nothing. He's free to go. You don't have anything on him." And he goes, "What about the drugs?" And he goes, "Come on, Tansy. Even a newbie lawyer would know you planted that shit."
So he says, "So am I in trouble?"
Yeah. "Oh, I understand I'm the one being incriminated." And he does the death stare. I'm like, dude, you can't kill Mr. Italy.
And then, Mr. Italy looks at him. He goes, I mean, just imagine the newspapers tomorrow. A policeman hits a defenseless hunchback.
And I'm sure Tansy's like, just imagine the newspapers. Guy fucks up the chief in his own office.
So then the next thing we see after that is some criminals kidnap Anna, and they bring
Wait,
her
before
in-
that though, they real quick.
Important part.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Julie.
they're transferring. So he's not in trouble for planting drugs and beating the fuck out of this guy in the office. He's just being transferred to a desk job.
Yeah, he has
How like life.
Yeah, he's going to be in the licenses office now.
Yeah, so he's got a cushy desk job now to protect everybody.
Oh yes, because this is what I did have that in my notes to go. So our plan is we are going to obstruct justice because Mr. Italy says we're going to transfer you to avoid an investigation.
And funny enough, he responds to that with, "Hey, so score another one for justice, huh?" And he's like, "Dude, Tansy, we're trying to avoid a scandal.
Yeah.
We're trying to save all of our
Well,
jobs
at this
here.
point,
You keep murdering
Mr.
people."
Italy has also broken a law. So, I mean, I don't know if there's an obstruction of justice charge in Italy, but that's pretty clear cut, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, as you were saying, Mike, now Anna's walking down the street.
Yeah, she's kidnapped by some guys, right? By the gang members. Here's the weird thing is, like, they kidnap Anna because she's the captain's girlfriend, but at the same time, she's kind of on the side of the criminals. I'm like, not really an enemy you want to make. I guess she's juvenile, though, so it doesn't really fall under their
A
jurisdiction.
lot of shades of gray. in
Yeah.
this.
Right. Well, this is really awkward because the next thing we see is Captain's waiting for Anna to show up to dinner. And guess what, guys? Guess where they are? Guess where they're going to eat again?
We're doing a mulligan.
Yeah. Well, not only are they at the same restaurant, they're at the same table.
That's his table.
I'm sure the wait staff is tense right now. Watching him pick at his bread.
I just wrote in my notes, I go, this is the type of guy who would only eat at the same place. Like Captain, he found his one restaurant. He's like, it's fine. It's fine.
And you just know the thing is that it's not that table's always vacant.
No. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Yeah, some people are cutting date night short when he shows up.
Yeah, I think he's picking up some of those novelty wine glasses they attach to the wall and kind of banging it on the table a little bit until people get the picture.
You're in my seat.
Oh, I think we got to go. Yeah. So then a waiter comes up and he's like, yeah, hey, we haven't heard anything from Anna or work or anything. And so then Captain calls her office and they're like, yeah, man, we haven't seen her in 30 minutes. And we cut to, well, some criminals are are beating up Anna, and they've tied her to a steering wheel of a car, and we are at a junkyard. And guys, it's time to play the claw machine. Okay?
Yeah. One guy runs up to the, what do you call that, the cockpit?
Yeah.
The controls of the claw machine, and they're picking her up. I would have liked it if, much like the stuffed animal claw machine, it like kept dropping the car.
So
like,
close, so
sorry,
close.
damn it.
It's
It was
rigged.
like the time I was in a Denny's and I almost won a I don't know why this was in there, but there was a plush of Mitt Romney in a claw machine at a Denny's. And Molly and I tried to spend $5 getting that thing.
Do you have it now?
Absolutely not. I couldn't win.
It's because they're
It kept
rigged.
dropping. Yeah. Fucking rigged.
It's funny because I have distinct memories as a child of playing ones that weren't rigged, and I don't know if I invented those memories.
You did.
Yeah. Well, was your dad
Like,
just kind of
like-
reaching his hand inside the machine and
Oh, I wouldn't
They
know.
were trying to bring the carnival experience like to the Denny's and have it be that crushing disappointment that you spend like $20 on a 5-cent toy and you still didn't get it.
I just
Yeah.
only wanted it
Denny's.
because I'm like, I'm sure this is a one of a kind. So
But you know, 17 euros later, they finally get the car up.
yeah. Well, kinda. They like put it at the edge of this crushing thing, right? So
Yeah, like the compactor.
yeah. But
And just to scare her, they put it down like she's gonna roll into it. And I thought she was getting closer and closer to it until we panned back and realized she'd been in the same spot the whole
she's not
time.
moving at all. Although, man, imagine if she had shaken a little bit and then it went. They're like, oh shit! Oh goddamn!
They're all diving in trying to save her.
Well,
But what they do is, you know, she's kind of staring into the middle distance now. She's been traumatized.
yeah, some
And,
amazing face acting here.
Oh God. And so they put a single bullet in her palm. I don't mean they shoot her. I mean they place it in her palm. And they go, "This is for your bastard boyfriend."
It's got his name on it. And so then the captain and the old man are driving in a car. And here's what I notice is I'm like, they rarely drive themselves. Like, do they just have like some sort of police guy that drives them around or something? Because they're like rarely ever driving themselves. Whenever they're in a car
I want
together,
that
they
guy's
both
story.
sit in the back seat. And I was very curious about that. But they're at the hospital now, right? And it's all business. Like, Captain doesn't even ask Anna how she's doing or anything. He's just like immediately goes, all right, who did it? And she's just like, oh, I can't remember. I don't remember their faces. And you can tell she's kind of like, you know, playing, I don't know. She's not giving the full story.
Yeah.
And she says, I can't remember their faces. And Anna begs the captain. She's like, look, I can't remember their faces, but I don't want you to do anything, Captain. It was just an accident. And I was like, an accident? Okay. Where did, like, okay, did the people find her in the car, or did they find, like, did the bad guys drop her off at the hospital? Because, I mean, like, how do you accidentally get your own car into a car crusher at a dump?
And tie yourself to the wheel.
Yeah.
It's like a person who puts themselves in a dry cleaning bag in a closet.
Yeah. But I was like, look, I know she's on the side of being humane to criminals and all, but this is a little much. And then so outside the hospital room, because Captain's really pissed about all this stuff, this doctor comes up and he hands Captain the bullet, and he goes, hey, I don't know, we kind of found this on her. I don't know if this makes a difference or anything.
And I swear, this is the point where the captain looks right into the camera.
Oh, yeah. He's not having it, man.
Like, it felt like a break of the fourth wall. He looks up from the bullet, looks at us like, you know what time it is.
I thought multiple times, like, you could put in the Kill Bill music, the Sting, when he does that look.
Yeah.
There was a part later in this movie when I thought it did, and it was just a police siren in the background. I was like, holy shit. Oh, okay, it's just a siren. So now Captain's back at the station at his new job, guys. Okay, he's in the
Yeah.
records department, and you know
Pushing
what?
paper.
He has no fucking patience for this.
Yeah, so a guy is there asking about a file for his billiard hall, and he goes, well, there isn't a file for your billiard hall. And that guy's like, well, that's not possible. You got to check again. And so he checks again, and by that I mean he never looks away from the guy and goes, I said there's no file for your billiard hall.
Yeah, because as I write this man, I write him as Billiard Boy. He goes, man, they called me. They called me and told me that the file was ready. Yeah, and he just looks at me and goes, well, it ain't.
And the guy goes, well, my prefect assured me it would be ready by now. And he goes, your prefect can assume anything he wants. And the guy goes, hey, dude, you need a sedative.
Yeah, hey, take...
Why don't you have an espresso, man?
Yeah, go get a coffee or something.
Yeah, so he's like, you should take a sedative, and I was like, uh-oh. That's when I wrote I could hear the Kill Bill music firing up, and it was just a police siren. Because it goes, and I'm like, oh, and then, oh, okay, it's just a siren.
They should have just cut to the exterior of the building and the guy flying through the window.
No, but instead, Billiard Boy leaves, and then Captain walks over to, as I put, Police Hitler, so Hitler Cop.
Yeah, Hitler Cop's there working and he like suddenly Captain is super chill. He's like having a mint and he sits on his desk.
And why is Hitler Cop dressed like Hitler? Because there's nobody else that wears this uniform except for this guy. It's very weird. He's like got an SS uniform on. He's got the Hitler haircut. He's got a full mustache, so he grew it out.
You never saw Nazi Detective? He's just doing his job.
So Hitler Cop, he comes over to his desk and Captain starts bitching. He's like, I hate doing paperwork, all these.
And he goes, how long you been here, man? And he's like, I've been here 22 years. He goes, that's crazy. I've only been here 2 days and I'm already sick of this crap.
And I write in my notes, I go, Hitler Cop is kind of that guy at the office that's like, yeah, that sucks, man. Oh, look, a phone call. Oh, I got to take this real busy. Because the phone rings. He's like, yeah, heh, heh, heh. And he gets away from Captain. And then Captain goes over, he reads a headline about how a white BMW, was shooting up the town with machine guns. And that's just fucking too much for him, man. He puts down the paper. He goes to his boss. He goes, I'm going to the barber. I'm getting a haircut.
That's a great excuse. I gotta go to the barber.
Gotta go tighten this up a bit. I gotta trim my mustache.
And so the next thing we see is that Captain has driven to Hunch's house, okay? Or is his sister's house, but it's Hunch or his sister's house.
It's Savelli's house, and Savelli's wife is there with her brother.
And yes, so she's there, and she's all pissed off when Captain comes in the door. He just barges in, no warrant or anything, just walks the fuck in.
And he wants to know where Savelli is, and she goes, well, he's not here, that son of a bitch. He left me with the kid.
And then we cut to Hunchback is eating, as I read it, I think he's eating a whole rotisserie chicken to himself.
He's got like a full Thanksgiving spread in front of him.
He's just sitting at this table gnawing on a chicken or a turkey. Yeah, it might even be a turkey. To himself.
He lives the good life, man. He drives a Porsche. He eats whole chickens. Like,
what's that good luck? It's that good luck hunch.
That's what it is.
And he knows some people in the meat business, so he knows how to get the best food.
Oh, that's true. Mm-hmm. He got the meat hookup. So Captain walks over, Bobby. He goes over to the sink. He picks up a glass. He pours the water, and he walks over to Hunch.
And he sets the glass down in front of him, and then he holds up a single bullet, the one that was given to him at the hospital. He goes, "Did you do this?" And Moretto goes, "Nope." He keeps eating. And he goes, "Swallow it."
Yeah, put it in your mouth.
Like, fuck you mean swallow it? He's like, "Swallow it."
I'm like, Bronson, hello. This is just straight out of Kinjite, man.
This is such a great moment, though, because, like you were saying, because of the animosity between these two people, like, I feel like it was meant to be like, oh, like the Hunchback, he's like, he freaks out about it and he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then he like makes him, but no, he just turns it around and he's like, fine, I'll do it. And he just like takes it down like nothing. And he just completely turns it around on him. It was a complete power play, like flipped it.
Like, after the director called cut, he's like, you wouldn't have swallowed it.
This is, for Captain's character, this is the most hard and soft moment. Because he's just so fucking excited to get this man to force him to swallow the bullet, and then he does it himself.
Yeah, it's great.
So he does it with little resistance, and he even looks over, like, after Hunch swallows it, he goes, "You happy?"
Yeah, like, we done here?
And so the Captain walks away, and then Hunch burps, and he turns around, he's like, "Yeah!" And it's just, like, right about to just kind of break loose, and he's like, all right, I'm going to go get myself an espresso. I'm going to calm down. So then two people are making out in a car in the middle of a field outside of town.
What could go wrong? This beautiful couple. They're so innocent.
Surely there isn't going to be some guy with a bag on his head and a trombone showing up.
Topher Grace and his boys show up, okay? They're just driving around, gallivanting around town in their cars, and they drive up to these guys, and they just kind of, I think it's Topher Grace who does a thing where he just like goes by the window and the lady screams. She's like, ah!
Yeah, he presses his face against the glass like he's in an aquarium.
Yeah, and she just screams like top of her lungs. And then they pull the people out of the car. They start beating up the guy and they shove him in a trunk.
And right before they close the trunk, he looks at the guy and goes, "We're going to fuck your girlfriend." Slam.
Oh, and I was like, no, you guys made me watch another one of these. Like, come on.
And unfortunately, they do.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not good.
Like, we don't got to get into details about
However,
that.
I have to say one thing that did make me laugh in this scene is there is a part where a guy takes a giant stick and then he puts it near his crotch and he pretends it's his dick. And I was like, what in the
like a bread knocker.
fuck is happening? Because he's just like, hey, look at me. How do y'all like it? I'm like, what the fuck?
Look at my wood dick.
I got a stick for a dick.
Johnny stick for a dick.
And so then we see Captain. He's in a coffee shop, guys. He's calming down.
He's calming down.
Yeah. But he's not really, because as you see, he has an espresso in front of him. He is fucking piling so much goddamn sugar in this thing.
And the bartender is like the most Italian barkeeper. He's gesticulating wildly and like talking to him about whatever. Like, it was really great.
And he even asked him,
because he meets any person at all anywhere, he walks up and goes, "Where's Savelli?"
yeah, he says it to the guy, and he's just like, I don't even know who the fuck you're talking about.
Look, man, I'm here to serve coffee.
I'm like, I guess the leads are running dry, right? We might as well just start asking.
He's just accosting strangers, shaking them down. You're in on it, I know it.
And then old cop comes in while Captain's enjoying some pinball.
He's having a coffee and playing some
And
pinball.
I'm like,
that sounds awesome.
I would hate to see what happens if Captain loses this game.
Oh, if that thing goes down the middle.
And so the old man tells him, he goes, hey, look, Moretti's planning a new job. And he kind of gives him the details, be on the lookout for it.
And he says that if we keep an eye on Moretto, rather, he's going to lead us to Savelli and he's going to lead us to Farrinder.
And Captain's like, I'm on it. Here, you finish my pinball game, old man. And he kind of pats him on the shoulder and leaves. And then the captain drives off in the middle of the night, and wouldn't you know it, he runs right into that guy who was stuffed in the trunk. It's like, wherever a crime happens, Captain is like a crime magnet, okay? Wherever it's happening, he just somehow gets to the scene of a crime.
Well, that was Umberto Lenzo was trying to show us, that there is a crime happening in every nook and cranny of Rome.
How do you think we're going to get out of this van?
It's like
We're going to have to shoot our way
every
out.
time a crime happens, Captain gets a boner. Like, that's basically what happens. And so this bloody man runs into the middle of the street, and he's like, oh my God! And Captain stops his car, and he's like, what the hell? What's going on? There's a crime?
He's about to beat him up.
Yeah.
He's about to throw him on the ground and stop him.
Captain's like, look, I can't stand up right now. I am excited as all hell, but why don't you get in this car? We'll drive to this scene of that crime real quick. And then they drive over there, and it's another real hard than soft, because the criminals have left, and Captain's like, ah, shit. And so they get there, and what's worse about this is now Captain's like, all right, well, where'd they go, what they look like? They're like, can you take us to the hospital? And you almost kind of see it in his face. He's like, yeah, I guess. And so now he's stuck driving these people to the hospital. But while they're in the back seat, he asks the lady, he's like, what did he look like? What did this guy look like? And she says, he had the face of a spoiled child.
I'm like, where have we seen that before?
Captain knows right away it's Topher Grace. He knows right away. So he goes to this local youth club.
It's the YMCA. It's the Boys and Girls Club.
It's like a bar without the alcohol, but like all these teenagers hang out there.
Yeah, man. Pinball and soda pop.
And wouldn't you know it, Topher Grace is right there. And so, by the way, Captain found one clue at the scene. And you know what it was? It was a passport.
Yeah,
convenient.
Topher dropped his passport when he was beating a man up.
So, Bobby, Captain tosses that passport on the pinball machine.
Right on the glass of the pinball machine. He goes, is this yours? And before the kid has a chance to respond, he slams his face through the glass.
And then kicks him in the nuts.
Yeah, we are assaulting juveniles now.
And then, one of the guy's friends comes up like, what the fuck is this? So he grabs that guy, slams him against a pool table, and kicks him in the balls.
You get a nut kick. You get a nut kick. Everybody gets a nut kick.
There's a fourth guy. He starts dribbling him against the pool table like a basketball.
Oh, yeah, that was real bad, man. That was like, holy shit. He's like basically almost curb stomping this poor kid.
And, that's no fun.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fun for him. Captain's having a great time.
And so Topher Grace's boys, they grab the captain, and he manages to make an escape.
Well, because he's about to make like a death blow, because he's given the final monologue, and he's explaining to him. He's like, you're gonna forget women forever. You got that? You retarded daddy's boy. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Dancy. Now, I have seen a still. There's an alternate version. It could be the closed captioning from the English dub, but there's an alternate version of this where he says to him, instead of that line, he says to him, crap like you ought to be put in a home and castrated.
Oh, wow.
And before he can kill Topher, yeah, three of Topher's friends all dogpile Tansy while Topher runs out the door.
Yeah, and Tansy still breaks out. Captain breaks out of there, and we get into a car chase between him and Topher Grayson. I believe Topher Grace is driving a Ferrari.
Yeah, it's a blue one.
That's what he says over the radio. And so they get into this chase, and then eventually the police backup show up to help Captain. They stop Topher Grace's car. Captain gets out of his car. They try and run him over.
As he's hitting the ground, he does like this Metroid roll and a quick draw, and boom!
Yeah, it reminded me of Hot Fuzz so much. Like when they do the roll and shoot move.
It was a hell of a move, and you know what? Perfect headshot. Right down the middle.
Fucking right through Topher Grace's skull, and
fucking
he just
Robin Hood
lands on the horn and just is...
The car just stops. Like, I applauded.
Even the cops are like, damn, Captain, that's a little far, man.
No, that kid's dead of excess humanity. Should have been in a cage.
Look what killed him. All that humanity.
Everyone being nice to him.
Oh, the humanity.
Isn't that the guy that works at the permit office? Like, what's he doing out here shooting people?
Well, we addressed that in the next scene because we cut right to the, he's back in the principal's office again, and that guy's going, you were supposed to be behind a desk, for God's sake.
Well, the thing is, that Mr. Italy has the old cop sitting down, and he's
that's right.
You were supposed to watch, Captain. Like, what the fuck? And Captain's standing in the room, and he can't keep his mouth shut. Because immediately he just starts screaming at everybody, right? And I'm like, well, I'm kind of in Captain's side, because this crime kind of just fell into his lap, man. Like, he was driving around, and this lady got raped, and, I mean, he didn't have to kill Topher Grace or anything, but it's not, like, all his fault.
Yeah. I mean, he was trying to run him over.
Yeah.
What would you have done?
Well, yeah, I probably wouldn't
because that's what he asks old cop, is he's like, what would you have done? And he's like, I probably would have died. Like, they probably would have run me over.
I probably would have died.
Bear in mind, I am quite old.
Yeah. I am 2 days away from retirement. I filed my paperwork.
I don't have any of those sweet roll and shoots in me. I would have just laid down and died.
No, but now old cop is in charge of the Farrinder case. It's like off the table for Captain.
Yeah, he says keep Tansy out of my sight.
Yeah, which is not really, because the old cop's like his Captain's best friend. So it's like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's just give the Farrinder case to his best friend.
Yeah, they go to dinner together. Like, they're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, every date ends up being, old cop shows up. It's not good, guys, because apparently after Captain leaves, Mr. Italy gets up and he goes, yeah, hey, old cop, it's real bad because, that guy that Captain killed tonight? Yeah, I kind of know his dad. We went to school together. And I'm like, he's like, I'm getting a lot of heat for killing, for that kid being killed. And I'm like, dude, he raped a woman. I was like, so,
yeah.
And so then some lady's all drugged out in a hotel room. So I just call this lady
she
drug
wakes up
lady.
in like a drug den.
Oh,
Yeah.
she looked like Anna for the long. I thought it was Anna for the longest time, but no, her name is Marta.
So
Marta.
Marta, or drug lady, she gets she picks up a phone.
No, Marta.
Right? And she calls her mother. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. Because she picks up a phone to call her mother, but then some dude named Tony comes into the room.
Fucking Tony.
Come on, get an original Italian name already.
And
he hangs up that phone. He slaps her, just like the Captain slaps people. And he forces her to take another fix of heroin, because apparently he's got this lady in his apartment that he feeds heroin. It's like a real, they call her one-eye type of situation.
yeah, it felt a lot like that.
Yeah, where he like...
Because while she's in a daze, once the heroin kicks, he starts making out with her and then calls her a cunt.
Gross.
And I'm like, this is 50 minutes of the movie. Who are these people?
Wait a minute. This is a different film.
So the next thing is like some lady, she's in the... Okay, she is the widow of somebody... Okay, this is the most confusing setup, is like, this lady comes into the Captain's office, like the license office.
It's Marta's mom.
Yeah, but you learn that through, she goes, I'm the widow of somebody who died off screen in this movie. Because she starts talking about her husband and how he just died and she's a widow. And he's like, oh, yeah, I knew her. And she's like, you know what, Captain, he loved you. He was a great guy. The audience didn't know him.
But we sure do miss him.
Yeah, but then she goes, so about, but this visit has nothing to do with my... with my dead husband that I just spent 5 minutes telling you about. I'm actually here because of my daughter. she met some guy named Tony at this nightclub, and I don't know, I haven't seen her in like forever, but I think Tony's like a drug dealer, and he's a real son of a bitch.
And yeah, he's keeping her from me. He's keeping her drugged. He's keeping her abused. Anyway, he hangs out at a club called the Morocco.
And he's like, oh, okay. All right.
He's like, I'll go check it out.
So, you know what? He won't, because the next thing we see is we're on a country road and a lady has car trouble.
This is the next episode of this series.
Yeah,
this is like an entire series in one movie. Like, it really is. There's this lady in a busted like Volkswagen Beetle and a motorcycle man who like looks like
friendly bread knocker.
Yeah, he looks like the host from Drunk History. I don't know that guy's name, but he looks a lot like him.
Oh, he does, yeah.
Right? And he offers the help. And we're like, oh, that's great. But then, like, he immediately just gut checks this lady and steals her coat.
I thought he elbowed her right in the coot.
Oh, is that what it was? I don't know.
That's what it looked like.
He knocks her over. And she makes
a jacket?
Yeah, that's all he took from her was the coat.
She had like an expensive coat in her front seat, so he grabbed it and he jumped on his bike.
But she makes the terrible decision to like hold on to his foot peg and get dragged away like on her back.
But
he's
was
so
an
distracted.
expensive jacket, okay?
God damn it!
He's so distracted by the dragging that. Yeah, you know how much she paid for that? You know how many euros that cost her?
Yeah, but she lets herself get dragged by the motorcycle.
And it causes him to look away, and he runs right into the front of another car. Not very fast, just enough to, like, stop. And out of the car jumps the captain.
Of course, because he's a goddamn crime magnet.
He just keeps, like, spawning where crime is happening.
Yeah, and he just immediately runs into this guy. He slaps his ass around for a while until... For no reason at all, the old cop and some other cops just show up.
Rome is a very small township. I don't know if you know this, Mike.
The setup for this scene makes no sense. We just watch a woman get her coat robbed, and then Captain just shows up.
Get her coat robbed?
Yeah.
Captain shows up, slaps a man around for a while.
With his open-handed slap.
Yeah, then the old cop and other cops show up. They're like, hey, yeah, we've been looking for you, Captain. You want to go see a dead body?
I love it because when old cop rolls up, Tansy is just like slamming him against the hood of his own car, and they're just like, "Hey, you know, we were supposed to see you 30 minutes ago."
Yeah, he's like, "But luckily we found you in the middle of nowhere, slapping a man around." And he goes, "Yeah, you want to go see this dead body?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." So you remember when the Mr. Italy was like, yeah, make sure that Captain doesn't get involved in any cases? Yeah, fuck that shit, right?
He literally went and found him and said, get involved in my case.
Yeah.
You want to go see a body?
Yeah, they go to see this body, and the hand is shriveled up all weird, okay? Mm-hmm. And the captain... So is this supposed to be dead hand?
That's what I thought it was, because I'm like, who else's left hand have we been focused on?
But it may tie into Dead Hand a little bit because they specify that mutilation to the left hand is indicative of gangland killings, specifically Ferender's mark.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, we're 55 minutes into the movie, why not, right?
So I guess when somebody crosses Ferrender, he fucks up their hand, so you know that they were, whether he kills them or not, and that could be what ended up happening to Savelli before this movie happened.
Yeah, so it's like,
and so that's why he is bound to be his henchman forever, and you know because he crossed him once in the past, he only has one good hand now.
It's Chief Inspector Bobette.
Damn right,
Bobetto.
Chief Inspector Bobetto.
And then all of a sudden the captain looks at the old cop and he goes, hey, you ever heard of this nightclub, the Club Morocco? And
no, why?
Yeah, and he goes, I don't know, I think I'm going to go dancing.
Totally in character.
Cut to Club Morocco.
I love this club. Please don't wreck this joint because I really want to visit it right after this. Like while I'm in town. Oh my god, this is like the coolest club.
It is huge, by the way. It's got like multiple rooms that you walk through and everything.
Oh, it is sweet. We're going to do a Grindbin field trip to this club.
I've actually been to a few places in LA that like old restaurants that look like this on the inside. Like there's like...
Oh, they meant like clubs.
No. Like there's certain like brunch spots in downtown that if you go to them, they're like in these old buildings that look like shit on the outside, but when you go in, it's all like done up in Art Deco style. It's really cool, actually. Like multiple hallways and everything.
That's rad.
Yeah, and so it looked a lot like Club Morocco. So Captain's arrived, okay?
Yeah, and he talks to the guy at the front. He's like, yeah, I'm looking for Tony. And the guy's like, I never heard of him. So, of course, he grabs him by the shirt and goes, don't think I didn't recognize you, Carmine.
Well, as you say, he goes to talk to him. The man is about to take a drink. And Captain just grabs it from his hand. And yeah, says, Tony, apparently he knows this guy, old Carmine, right?
Yep.
And he beats the shit out of him into getting a dress.
And he goes, now where's Tony? And the guy's just like, 73 Coronari Street.
And he's like,
He's got an attic.
Yeah.
Can't miss it. Blue car parked
Don't
out
give
front.
me that G.I. Joe hand. I'm done, okay? I told you it.
And as he's leaving, he yells to him, he goes, hey, don't forget, I didn't tell you that.
And so now we're outside the club, and you know what? When the captain gets in his car, he goes, wait a second, where do I know that guy from? Where do I know Billiard Boy from? You look familiar.
It's the guy from the licensing office.
What are you doing here at Club Morocco? I don't know. Get in my car and I'm going to drive off. So then we're back at the club, right? And the bartender, the guy that Captain beats up, he calls Tony and he's like, hey, yeah, Captain's after you. And he even calls him. He goes, hey, yeah, the Captain's after you.
Everybody knows who the captain is.
Oh, yeah. And Tony wakes up drug girl. What's her name? Marta? Yeah, it won't matter.
And he says to her, he's all, wake up, stupid, we're going to your mom's.
Yeah, he slaps her around for a bit. It's very uncomfortable. And she's just like, he's like, get dressed. And she's like, I'm high.
I'm
like,
sick. I'm
Yeah,
sick.
she's like, I'm too sick. So he throws her down on the zebra rug and he injects her with some more heroin. But he makes some kind of vague comment while he's doing it about it being like the last bit he's going to give her.
Yeah, well, she was already freaking high as a kite on heroin, and he's injecting her again.
Yeah. So he injects her one more time. It's going to be a fatal dose. And he grabs his bag, but just as he picks his bag up, the door kicks open. And oh, shit, it's Tansy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fucking Captain's here. And he comes in, and, like, Tony kind of throws his bag at him, and he runs into the bathroom and locks it and climbs out a bathroom window.
And it leads to a big roof chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a picturesque roof chase.
It's like the most
awesome.
Assassin's Creed thing I've ever seen in a movie.
Ah, Roma.
Yeah, the captain dives off into a bale of hay.
It's funny you say that because he's looking for one the whole time, isn't he?
Yeah.
They're looking for the exit. Because I've never
they're
seen
leaping from rooftop to rooftop.
I've never seen a chase where guys are looking for an exit more. Because it's kind of funny. It's like both of them are just like, well, how do we get down? Like,
How
that's
long do
the
we have
whole
to do
goal.
this?
Yeah, the whole goal of this chase is how do I actually get off this roof? Because the captain chases Tony out of the rooftop, and then Tony, like, at one point hides behind a wall, and he gets the jump on Captain, and he fights him, and he grabs Captain's gun, and he, like, pushes him off onto these tiles, and God, those damn Italian roof tiles, am I right, guys?
Oh, every time. And he's doing that classic, like, dangling from the roof for a moment.
Yeah, because the tiles are, like, coming loose, and you look, and, yeah, there's no hay bale down there, man. There's just, like, a 30-foot drop to cars. And Captain's manages to get himself back up, and the chase continues. Tony's still looking for an exit. He's looking all over the place. Can't find a hay bale of his own, but he finds a woman, and he takes her hostage by knife point. Captain shows up, and he's like, hey, you son of a bitch, and he throws the lady at him, and he runs into this stairwell, and I guess locks the door behind him.
Yeah, he does.
And then I like this is while Tony's running away, some good Samaritan in the apartment building tries to stop him.
He jumps into
I like
action.
that guy. You know why? Because Rome is armed to the teeth.
Well, we know what happens if you leave a guy in the street, man. Imagine if you let a criminal get away. What's the punishment for that?
You become Spider-Man.
So, yeah, he pushes this guy away, and he's just like, dude, don't try to be a hero, all right? And the guy's like, all right.
Yeah, I did my due diligence. I'm going back inside.
Yeah. So you were very adamant about getting Marta's name right. It don't matter. She's dead. She dead now.
Yeah. He comes back to the apartment. They're like, yeah, she died, and we already hauled her off.
Yeah, she dead, man.
And so he goes, I'm going to catch that bastard if I have to search this whole damn city.
Like, okay, Captain?
Yeah, I'm going to kill everybody.
You got paperwork to do, dude. You got to get back, fill out some licenses. You know, that guy at the pool hall is still waiting for his permit, man.
Yeah, Anna is also here at the morgue.
Yeah, they go to the morgue now. Yeah, the mom's crying, and Anna's there, and she and the captain leave together, and they get in the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she says, look, I'm really troubled with what's happened to me and what's gone on. Rome is a real shithole, man, and I'm going to take 6 months off from work.
Yeah, she's going to take off for Milan for a while.
I'm like, so in Italy, you could just be like, yeah, man, I've had a rough time. I'm going to need 6 months.
Yeah, you could take your half a year for mental health. It's a normal thing over there.
Jesus. And so the captain's like, all right, well, that sounds okay. And she goes, well, I need to think about our relationship. And he's like, okay, I understand. And then as soon as she's done talking to him, who gets in the car with Captain? It's old cop. He was waiting by while they were having a discussion with the windows open. He's just standing right there.
He's emotional support buddy.
Yeah, and as soon as Anna gets out of the car and you think like, Captain's going to have a moment to reflect. No, old cop gets in the backseat. He's like, hey, so what's going on?
Let's go get a coffee.
Yeah. So they drive off, and then we go to Hunch, and he's selling some jewelry to like a fence.
Yeah, he's selling the stolen jewelry to, a jewel dealer.
Yeah, whom he calls Mustache, which, again, you're describing like half the people in this movie.
Right? And so the guy's taking a look at the goods, and he's like, yeah, I can give you $2 million. And he's like, come on, Mustache, make an effort. And the guy goes, times are tough, man. These are going to be hard for me to sell. He goes, Mustache, let's make a historic compromise, huh? I, the hunchbacked proletarian, will only steal for you, and you, the smart capitalist, will only do business with me. I put that in writing. Maybe you add $500,000 to the deal.
And Mustache is like, no, that doesn't sound good. I do not agree to your terms.
He gives him a counteroffer. He goes, okay, tell you what. Why don't you touch my hump?
I'm like, dude, that's a good deal.
Yeah,
he says
It'll
it is
bring
good
you
luck.
luck.
He says it's good luck. Huh?
And the guy goes, yeah, I don't really believe in things like that. And he goes, well, you're wrong. And he shoots him dead.
Yeah, and then takes all the money.
That was such a good moment. I loved it.
And he proved it right there. It was bad luck not to rub the hump.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? You made the mistake of leaving the safe open, man. Because the Hunch just takes all that money, man. And so then we go to Mr. Italy, and he's meeting with the old cop, and he's like, look, man, things are bad.
Yeah,
a lot of shit's going down.
But also the worst of it is
losing our
that
grip on this one.
the worst of it is that he forgot his 25th anniversary and he needs to go get some flowers.
And to top it all off,
Because this scene really doesn't advance any sort of major plot points. He's like, look, you just need to keep your eyes and ears open. Also, can you believe I forgot my anniversary?
What?
And old cop's like, no. Okay, well, I'm going to go join the rest of the movie. And then Mr. Italy's like, better order some flowers, am I right?
I really thought that was going somewhere, but
whatever you say, Chief.
What the fuck? So the next thing we see is the old cop. He's leaving to go check on the fence that got killed, the jewel dealer. Because I guess Mr. Italy told him about that, or maybe not. Like, he just knows that the jeweler
Word
guy
has gotten
died.
around.
Yeah.
Because Mancuso, the world-famous jeweler, has been kidnapped. No one knows where he is.
And the captain comes up. He's jacked like hell, and he's like, hey, where are you going?
And it's great because his partner immediately goes, Tansy, you look pissed.
Yeah, he's jacked like hell. He's like ready to go, and they're like, "Yeah, you got to do the paperwork here." And he's just like, "Are you sure? Oh, God damn it! What? You're going to see that dead guy? Oh, damn it! All right, I'll go back to my office." And so then, before he goes back, though, the old man leaves, and then Captain turns to I guess it's like the coroner or another cop, and he goes, "Hey, did you ever ID that body we found in the forest? You remember that level of this video game? Did you ever find out who that guy was?" And the guy
goes, "No, I think they're closing that case."
And then Captain just gets pissed, and he's like, Farrinder getting away with another!
You son of a bitch!
And the other guy's like, okay, I'm going back to my office.
So that was weird.
And so Captain's getting into his car, and goddamn, like a fucking crime magnet, he spots Tony!
There's fucking Tony across the
Remember how
street.
he said he was going to, scour the city for Tony?
Yeah.
Hey,
The fish jumped right in the boat.
Yeah.
it's Tony.
By scour the city, he meant just go outside. You know, Rome's a small place. So he just goes
And
outside,
so-
sees him right away, and you know what? It's G.I. Joe time. American hero.
Yeah, Officer Protocol, he walks up and he decks him.
Slaps Tony across the face for a little bit, and then shoves him in his own car. And is it Anna who comes outside and sees this? And she's like, what
Yeah.
the fuck, Captain? What are you doing?
The next time she sees him, he's like beating a man in his own car.
Yeah, and she's like, what the hell? So she runs into her own office, and she makes a phone call. And the next thing we see is that Captain, well, he's brought Tony where nobody can hear him scream.
It's just like every cop show we've seen. He takes him to the underpass.
Yeah, and here's the thing is so he takes him where I said nobody can hear him scream, which is just, like an on-ramp to the freeway, which is not a good place for a cop to beat a man in public, because I don't know, there's a lot of traffic going on here, but he just sits there right in the view of all these cars and everything, and just slaps this guy around for a while, and he's like,
Yeah, well, he starts off, he goes, so who's your supplier? And, before the guy can answer, he kicks him in his balls, and then he points a gun at him.
He's got the Bobby Hill fighting. He goes right for the ball kick right away.
That's my purse.
I don't know you.
That was Captain's training. Is he he didn't make it to the regular day, so he went to self-defense class instead.
And when he saw Frodo and Sam steal that purse, it all came back to him.
So he kicks him in the nuts. He slaps him around for a little bit. He's like,
And the guy's like, "What are you, nuts?"
He's like, "Man, you don't know the captain, dude."
He's really gonna shoot him at this point. Like that.
Yeah, because he goes, "Well, you showed her no mercy." And he goes, "Look, man, if you spare my life, I'll give you a tip about Farrinder. Here's what you need to know. He's blam!" And then a bullet rips through this guy.
Because while he was beating him up, I mentioned that we were in a place where a lot of traffic is going on, right? At the same time, a car just pulls up and parks and watches this whole thing go down. And I believe it's that fancy car from earlier.
Yeah.
And Captain does not realize it. But yeah, Tony gets shot dead. And you know what? Uh-oh. Worst timing possible, right, guys? Old Cop and Anna show up, and they're like, well, this ain't
and he's standing
good.
over a corpse with his gun out.
With a bullet through his head. They're like, oh, boy.
God damn it, Tansy.
Yeah, and the old cop looks at me, he's like, I can't really cover for this one, dude.
And Tansy's like, bullshit, this wasn't me this time.
Yeah, an old guy just pulls out a radio and goes, I got a homicide. He doesn't even say, dead guy, he knows right away. He's like, yeah, it ain't good.
Yeah, it's me again. Yeah, it happened again.
At one point, they should have just cuffed Tansy or Captain to his desk, They should have been like...
Well, then he'd be outside dragging a desk.
It would have been really funny, actually.
He'd be beating a guy with a desk.
Okay, I got it. They put him into the lockup with a desk. Like, he gets his own cell and everything. Maybe next to all the guys they throw in the drunk tank, And you just
can let off a little steam when he needs to,
Look,
scrabble through the bars.
Yeah. These guys, you can rough these guys up a little bit, Tansy, but just go ahead. Can you do your paperwork in here in the jail cell? You'll be fine.
Oddly enough, it really works for him. He's very productive that way.
Yeah. But no, the next thing is Hunch is meeting with some bad guy, right?
This scene is awesome. So yeah, they park the car, and I think is it Savelli who's talking to him?
Is Savelli the guy who killed Tony just now?
Oh, no. It was, Savelli's the guy who killed Tony.
This is the guy who looks like a vampire, right?
This is Albino.
Yeah.
That's the name.
He looks like a vampire.
And that's why they call him Albino.
I guess. I didn't get that at all. He still had dark hair and everything. But
he's white as a ghost, this guy.
I guess.
And so he asks, "Hey, Moretto, how come you didn't also shoot the cop who's beating all of us up?" And he gives this monologue that I wrote down. And he goes, I want him to look me in the eyes when I kill him. I want him to shake with fear. I want that motherfucker to piss his pants. Hey, speaking of a motherfucker, I have these pains this morning, so I took a shit. You know what I found in the toilet? I found this. And he holds up the bullet that he swallowed earlier.
And you see the other guy okay.
The guy's like, where is this going? And he goes, now how is that possible? It's a miracle. Like when St. Clair was spitting daisies. See, she was protected by God. Now me, I'm protected by Satan. I'm shitting lead. And it's with this bullet that I'm going to sort this fucking cop out.
You almost feel like the vampire guy's going to be like, well, dude, I mean, if you swallow a bullet, it's got to come out somewhere, man.
I mean, it's not really a miracle. You swallowed a bullet, and so you shadow. Okay, it's
whatever
a miracle.
You say, Hunch.
You just
you know what?
around that shit
your
now.
religion is yours. I'm not going to... Now, I wish I knew this monologue back in junior college when I took an acting class. Because when we got to monologue day, I would have loved to have done the I shit a bullet and it's a miracle speech.
Oh, it's so good.
So after that, he gives his amazing speech, right? And he also says, now he's the new Hunchback. That's what I said. Because he's the new Hunchback. He's the new Hunchback.
2.0.
So then we go to Mr. Italy, and he's trying to find out what happened by talking to old cop and captain. He's like, all right, guys, there's a dead guy on the road, and you had to
You're telling me you were off duty and you just happened to be there when this happened?
And Captain, he doesn't want to hear any of it. He just starts yelling at everybody, and he's like, the laws fucking suck. I'd rather resign than be not believed. Fuck you guys. I can't believe you blame this on me.
Yeah, one of his lines that I really liked was, I'm not the one ruining your reputation. Your methods are. You're way too worried about politics and the press. You forgot that you got to where you are by the force of your fists.
And they're like, oh, thank God we're saved by a random cop that walks into the office and goes, hey, guys, we got a new crime scene to go visit.
Yeah, so the significance of the scene, though, was that he turned in his badge.
Yeah.
He quit this bitch.
Yeah, because he'd rather resign. than not be
But
believed.
yeah, but then this guy runs and he goes, 3 gangsters attacked the People's Bank. There's 10 hostages. Level start.
Yeah. So we go to this random... So is this a bank?
This one's the
It's
People's
a
Bank.
bank.
Okay.
It's run by
'cause
The
it
Rock.
also doesn't look like a bank, but okay.
And this heist is being headed by old Dead Hand and the gang.
Yeah, and the cops are outside. There's this huge hostage situation going on, right? And they even call in at one point because the old man in Italy, Mr. Italy, show up, and they like call into the bank, and they're like, "Hey, what do you guys want?" And they say, "Look, we're gonna kill all these hostages unless we get a judge in a car." Apparently, that's their deal to free the women hostages: is a judge in a car.
And if their demands aren't met by noon, which is 20 minutes from now, they're going to start offing the hostages.
And then you know what? Captain shows up on the scene. So I guess he's still a cop.
Well, he just happens to show
he
up
hasn't
because
filed
his
his paperwork
emotional
yet.
support buddy
Well,
was there. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. He shows up.
It's not
It's gonna
official
be a
until he
little
does his
while
job.
until he does the paperwork. Let me tell
Because
ya.
the guy in the licensing office hasn't showed up for a few shifts.
He shows up and just starts barking orders at everybody's like, all right, hey, what do we got? What's the situation up on the roof and everything? All right, I'm going to go talk to some of these guys. They're like, what is he doing?
Well, because he and his emotional support buddy are talking about it, and he goes, well, it's fair and there's gangs, so you know these negotiations are useless. He's like, there's going to be a massacre if we don't do something fast. And his partner goes, oh, man, the prosecutor's going to kill us. He's like, well, if we don't, they're going to kill the hostages, so let's do this.
And they're like, okay, I guess you'll be a one-man wrecking crew. Go for it, Cap. So then one of the women hostages inside bugs a criminal, so he shoots.
We don't see him actually shoot her. We just hear the gun discharge because she won't calm down.
But then the next thing we cut to is Captain's on the roof, and he like walks up to some guy. Like the guys. Okay, here's the thing.
They have a bunch of police snipers.
Now you
set
say
up.
they're police snipers, but they're just dressed in like regular clothes.
They just pulled dudes off the street with rifles.
One guy's wearing.
And be like, you're our sniper.
One guy's wearing like a tinfoil vest. Like I was like, is that supposed to be a bulletproof vest? Because that thing, I don't know what the hell that is. It's confusing me. But he picks the one guy with the vest.
And why are you wearing something reflective if you're a sniper?
Exactly. Like, these guys are just wearing T-shirts and reflective vests, and he's like, hey, you know how to use that gun? You good with it? He's like...
And the guy goes, I'm good enough.
Yeah, and he goes, all right, let's go in, huh?
Yeah, come with me, Butch and Sundance. Tonight we die.
Yeah, and everybody's like, okay. And Captain just kind of goes with him.
The plan is that they're going to, like, sneak in through the AC vent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then from there, though, we cut to Hunchback, and he's getting a tire replaced that he doesn't like to pay for it.
Yeah, well, apparently you don't pay up front for these things.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even get I know you don't do that in real life either, but you at least get like an estimate.
You know what the thing is, though? When you get your tire replaced, you usually get out of the car. Because Hunchback just sits in the car, and once the guy's
And
done,
he just
he's like,
floors it once it's ready.
yeah, see you later, sucker. And then he just drives off. And the station owner's
He's
like,
such a villain.
Yeah.
He really is.
And the station owner's, well, fuck that guy. I'm calling the cops.
And the guy goes, hey, did you hear the news? That was the gangster's car.
Oh, well, now I'm definitely calling the cops. And so now we're back at the bank. And is it Dead Hand that says, he goes, it was all a misunderstanding. I didn't shoot a lady. I shot the air. I just shot the air. And they're like, but we do want our judge in a car in 10 minutes, or I am really going to shoot somebody. And so, yeah, that's when Captain and Sniper, what'd you call them?
Rifle boy.
Captain and Rifle Boy, they're sneaking around air vents. It's like fucking it's so bizarre.
These enormous air vents.
Yeah.
It's a hallway.
It is. There could be two people, like, on top of each other.
It really is a video game at this point, and they're just crawling through the air vents, and, like, Captain's looking at it, he sees dead hands are there, and he's like, all right, okay. And we hear that they're going to start killing hostages in 2 minutes. If they don't bring their judge in a car.
Timer pops up on the screen. You get your countdown.
Fuck that. Captain just breaks out of the vent. He didn't even need fucking Rifle Boy because he just shoots all the bad guys himself.
It just drops every last one of them dead.
And when
makes short work of the whole scene.
This is maybe my favorite part is that Rifle Boy jumps down, immediately gets shot in the hand.
Ow!
It's a good thing I came.
He didn't do shit. And you know what? Then I knew right away. Captain picked that guy with the reflective vest so he'd be the target.
He was going to draw the fire.
Yeah.
He brought another guy so that they'd be too busy shooting that guy.
He's like, yeah,
Pick the
fuck this
shiny
guy.
guy.
Yeah. It's exactly why he picked him. And that's exactly, he's like, you
He
good with that
definitely
thing?
did.
Yeah, I don't care.
And that's why it didn't matter if he was a good shot or not. He was just like, I'm okay, I guess. Great, come on. He's just going to throw him in between them.
And it's like, well, Captain just keeps solving this movie, man. Like, he's got it all, dude. And so then the next thing, like, because everybody in the bank's happy, and Captain's like, all right, well, we cleaned this up. This mission's over. And then we cut to Hunch. He's being chased by the cops now, right? I didn't realize that they said that was the gangster's car, because I'm like, dude, they take tire theft very serious.
That was the private security.
And so then for no reason at all, Hunch just runs through a garbage fire.
No, it's a pile. He's like cool as a cucumber as he drives through this flaming pallet pile. That's what it is. It's like burning pallets.
Yeah. Just for no reason, he just goes, ha 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 ha, and just drives through it. And even the cops are like,
I thought he was looking for like a speed boost.
yeah.
It was like a Mario Kart thing. He's like, oh, this is the secret ramp
Fire
that'll
go
get
fast.
me out of here.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Even the cops are like, what the hell was that about? Like, just and then the chase just continues, but we cut to Mr. Italy. He's like, hey, Captain, you did a good job stopping that robbery, but hey, you're not off the hook for breaking all those laws before. We don't forget, okay? You're still in trouble. And I think you resigned, didn't you?
Didn't you quit?
And then the radio comes on and says, hey, we got a white BMW. And everybody's like, oh, that's the car we've been looking for. And then Mr. Italy tells the captain, he goes, aren't you in charge of the commando squad?
Uh-huh.
And he's like, if you let me.
And he's like, well, hop to it. And then he goes, Captain, I just want to let you know that you're a real son of a... He goes, Tansy, just go.
And then that's it. I guess he's fine. You know, they're right. They never filed the paperwork. He's still a cop. So then we get to Hunch car chase. He crashes into... Okay, there's one part where Hunch crashes his car. He jumps out of his car with a machine gun. And this might be the fucking craziest thing you've ever seen in this square in Rome, where a man crashes into another car, a hunchback jumps out with a machine gun and starts shooting random people on the street.
And he's also wearing this like Doctor Who / Hogwarts scarf, like wrapped all
like
around
Tom
his-
Baker.
Yeah, it's like the craziest scarf.
And people must have been like, is this a show or what the hell?
Yeah, it's the Rome armed to the teeth stunt show.
Yeah, it's like Quasimodo's Revenge or something.
Crash the vegetable cart,
shit.
start shooting randomly into the crowd.
Oh god! But then this whole scene is basically Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, because he shoots.
Because like he's just shooting random passersby, and then he sees an ambulance, so he jacks that.
Yeah, he shoots the other guy in the ambulance, and then he tells the driver. He goes, "All right, you're gonna take me. You're gonna take me where I want to go."
And he goes, and the driver, of course, is going, we got somebody dying in here. And he goes, get moving or you will too.
And so there is some old man in the back that's screaming. He's like, my wife's dying back here.
he goes, where are we going?
And Hunch opens the window.
The guy is making all kinds of noise. So he opens the door and goes, will you keep it down back there? And he goes, where are we going? He goes, I'll tell you where you're going. And then he unloads into him with a bunch of bullets and goes, to the cemetery, motherfucker.
He starts cackling. Oh, he's such a fun guy.
Somehow now the cops have gotten word that Hunch is in the ambulance. I don't know how, but they put it over the radio.
Maybe there are reports of an ambulance.
Well, it's very
with
quick,
guns firing?
very, very quick that somehow it gets over the radio. And then the captain's on his way, but you know what? He gets stuck in traffic, guys.
Isn't that how it goes?
And while they're waiting in traffic, he starts making small talk with the driver. And he goes, the Moretto, that is, goes, so what's your name? And the guy goes, Aronzo. And he goes, Aronzo, don't be a gonzo. Hey, if they catch us, you're going to heaven.
He's like, oh, okay.
He is just a riot.
In the English dub, this guy's name is Theodore. And he goes, Theodore, son of a whore.
And so then that ends because Hutch and the ambulance guy run into a badly placed fruit stand.
They just destroy a farmer's
It's just in the
market.
middle of the street. They run into it, and then Hutch just kind of leaps out and he starts shooting people again like Grand Theft Auto. He needs that 5 stars, man.
Yeah.
And so then that ends. Like, he just shoots people, and we just go to the police station where ambulance guy's like telling Mr. Italy and Captain, he's like, yeah, man, it was fucking crazy. This hunchback came in, he took the car, he killed the people in the back.
I thought it was gonna like be cutting back and forth as they continued to pursue him, like on foot. No, he got away.
Yeah, he just fully got away. And we see ambulance guy going like, yeah, man, it was fucking nuts. And the captain's all happy, like he's like, I knew it was Hunch. I knew it was that fucking guy the whole time. And I knew because he was in the poster. So I knew he was a bad guy the whole time.
Yeah, you kind of gave it away with that one. It's him in his Doctor Who cosplay shooting a machine gun.
Before you walk into the movie, you see a hunchback with a machine gun. You're like, I bet that's going to be the bad guy. So at the beginning of the movie, you're like, well, I don't really feel that bad for him because I think like he's going to be bad. But we'll see where it goes, right? So the captain's happy, like, yeah, he knew all along. And then Anna calls the captain, and she goes, okay, look, I didn't want to tell you this. She's something like, I didn't want to tell you about this because I think you'd do something crazy, but somebody killed in the bank robbery. It was Dead Hand or something. Like, she says something, right, about somebody that was killed in the bank robbery?
They were the ones who kidnapped her and were going to kill her.
Yeah.
Some of the details are coming back to
and
her
she's
now.
like, yeah, I didn't really want to tell you because, you know...
I know how you're going to be.
I know how you get.
She says she hid it from him to protect him and all this stuff. He's like, yeah, okay, thanks for nothing.
And she goes, by the way, I don't think I'm going to be coming back in 6 months after all. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. It's better.
And that's a wrap on Anna, right?
Yeah, you almost expected after she said that line for her to be like, hello? Hello? And you just hear a dial tone. Hello? So now we're at the junkyard, or one junkyard. We go to 3 different junkyards as Captain and Old Cop are like, hey, you guys seen these criminals? No? Okay.
You know the hunchback with a machine gun?
They're like, no, man, no. And so by the third one, he doesn't really. This guy's just like, the foreman comes over. He's like, oh, yeah, this place is rented. There's this guy that owns it, but this other guy rents it, and it's connected to the crime.
Yeah, he says that the owner of the place is a guy named Garace.
Yeah, which I don't know who Garace is, but apparently it's somehow
well, we find
connected. So now we're back at the station, and Hitler Cop comes back, okay? And he goes, hey, I figured out this movie, Captain. He goes, remember that pool hall guy? Billiard boy? He's behind everything.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I'm like, what?
And,
wait, what? Because he just goes, yeah, man, he's like the real bad guy.
Yeah, I loved this because he has another argument with the cat with his boss first, and they're like, you know, the press is blaming us for Moretto running around shooting everybody. And he goes, man, what do they even want? You know, like, man, fuck the press. And so that worked him up a little already to begin with. And so when he turns around, he sees that guy from the licensing office. The guy goes, "Yeah, I got those files you wanted." He goes, "Who gives a shit about your files?"
He's at the end.
He's like, "Dude, you asked me to do this."
Yeah, and then
this is Garace, Mike.
Yeah, he says, I figured it all out. This guy's Garace.
Yeah.
He's straight to the top. This is your dude.
That bald guy you keep seeing, who keeps staring at you,
asking for
he's the bad guy. He's behind
the guy asking for his goddamn paperwork. He's the bad guy. And there's all these zooms and crazy memories, and he's like, holy shit. So now Hunch is hanging out in the junkyard or something. I don't know where the fuck he is. He's in like some sort of place where there's trash, but it's not a junkyard.
It's like piles of clothes or something.
So it's like the Italian Goodwill
like
or something. Okay.
It's like a warehouse full of piles of clothes.
Yeah, and Vampire Guy's here, and they're looking for this delivery, right? They're going to make a deal with Garace or Billiard Boy. And then Captain and the old man show up at the scene, and they're staking it out, right? And they see the car. They're like, oh, this is the place, right?
And they have a interesting moment where he's talking to Old Cop, and he's like, you know, I always thought that once I came face to face with Ferrender and Moretto again, I'd kill them all, but now I just don't know.
Since when?
I know, this is out of fucking nowhere.
When did
but it's all right
this
because
arc happen? When?
he's turned over a new leaf.
I guess.
He finally had enough coffee. And Caputo, which is Old Cop, he goes, well, now I'm the one who doesn't have any doubt. He cocks his gun. I'm like, oh shit, they've swapped bodies like Freaky Friday.
And so then they hear on the radio that Garace's out, right? And they say he's... Is they say like he got out or something on bail, or what was the thing they said about it? Because they said on the radio that this car is on the way, or he got out. And then the car...
I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
part.
they say on the radio, they say something about how Garace got out on bail or something.
Right.
And then all of a sudden the car pulls up, and Captain and Old Guy are like, I guess that's the guy. Yeah, it's really weird. It's like, I guess they're all...
The crime comes
guess
to
they're
them.
all in the same spot. We weren't even really expecting it, but okay.
Shit, that worked out. We were already parked here. Goddamn.
And so then a big crime deal's going on between Garace and Hunch, right?
Yeah, we're getting everybody the cut from these robberies.
Yeah, and true to form, Hunchback is trying to negotiate a better cut.
Yeah, he doesn't like the 15%, man. He doesn't like the cut. He says life's getting a little more expensive. And so Garace agrees, okay, you know what? 20%.
He's like, you get to touch the hump for free for that one.
Oh, buddy.
I didn't even have to shoot you.
And you know what? They agree to terms, which is kind of nice, right? So the deal goes down okay.
Yeah.
And then Garace walks out. He's like, okay, I feel good about this. He walks out to his car with a briefcase full of money, and Captain and Old Man are there.
The boys got him.
But you know what? There's no G.I. Joe slap. Captain's hand has finally returned to a normal state, and he doesn't have to slap people.
He's found the soul.
He cuffs them. They cuff him.
He's being a better man.
No nut kicks, no hand slaps.
Yeah,
Nope.
and he's turned a new leaf, and Garace's like, okay, I guess I'm arrested now. And then Captain's like, well, I'm gonna go see what else is in here. I know Hunch is in here, so he goes into the building, and he hears this guy whistling. Right, I believe he's whistling, and he like hides behind a wall. He's gonna get him, and when he comes out to get the vampire man, Hunch has got the jump on him from behind.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
no.
this is great. And so, Hunch disarms him, knocks him down, and goes, hey, why don't we go back to the old ways? And he holds up the bullet.
Oh, the shit bullet!
And he goes, you recognize it? I shit it out just for you.
The shit bullet!
And Captain's got to be so upset right now because he's like, you know what? I just turned a new leaf, God damn it. Like, I did a lot of work, Hunch, to not be mad, and you're bringing it right back out of me, man. God damn it.
And he goes, you know what? You can kill me, but the place is still surrounded. You and Farrinder are screwed, pal. And the Hunchback starts laughing. He's like, you fucking hear this guy? He's still talking about Farrinder, this stupid fuck. And then we get the big reveal now. Julie, what is the big reveal?
All right. Okay. So remember that dead body that they found that had the messed up hand? That was Farrinder. And the Hunchback killed him and took his place, basically. So now the Hunchback is like the macho man bad guy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's been running things this whole time.
He also said that was 3 months ago, which I'm like, ooh.
Well, the body was pretty decomposed when they found it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This is like at the end of Watchmen when he's like, I did it 30 minutes ago.
And so
he starts putting the boots to the captain.
Yeah. He's getting a little G.I. Joe action of his own, He gets to slap him around, kick somebody in the balls.
And he's kind of had it coming.
No, I wasn't upset at this point. I'm like, well, yeah.
He doesn't give him nearly as bad of a beating as they gave him back in the interrogation room. So.
No, definitely not.
You could tell, the actor that was doing this is like, oh, come on. Do we really have to cut now? Like
5 more minutes. Come on.
And so Old Cop rolls in to save him, though. We get the big, like, RoboCop style, drop it. And he's got the gun on he's got the draw on the Hunchback, and he goes, all right, pal. No suicide attempts this time. I'm just going to kill you like a dog.
This part is so bizarre because Hunch has a gun in his hand.
Yeah.
And it's clear he does. But the old cop gets very close to him.
Yeah. And the captain, because he has turned over a new leaf, is like, you can't shoot him. We gotta stand for justice for once.
You'll be no better than them.
And so cooler heads prevail, and they go to cuff the Hunchback.
Yeah. And he shoots old man right in the gut.
Oh, dude, 2 days before retirement.
Oh, no.
I told you, man. Once he said he put that down payment on the boat, it was curtains, dude. Like,
that was
goddamn. He even had the name planned out and everything. He's showing pictures of his kids. It's like, oh, God,
you
stop
knew
it.
he was doomed.
And so, yeah, he shoots him, and Captain flips out. He's like, no! And you know what, Captain? This is all your fucking fault because you told him not to shoot him. God damn
it. It really is.
And so, the Hunchback's trying to run off down the hallway, and he just guns him down.
Yeah. You think there's going to be this, like, big epic shootout because they both have guns? No, he just shoots a Hunchback as he's trying to run away.
The dude's trying to run away. He shoots him a couple times. Tomas Milian really takes this death scene for a walk.
Yeah.
Like, he's practically breakdancing. Like, I could have sworn he did a windmill before he finally died.
He takes it for such a walk, they have to freeze frame on his face at one point. They're like, that's enough. Roll the credits.
It went on for 8 more minutes. We had to cut it a little shorter. And then, the credits just roll over the Hunchback's dead body.
Yeah. And Italian Bronson wins again.
Absolutely. In true Grindbin fashion, there's no real ending to this story.
Because he lost everything he ever loved. He lost Anna. He lost his emotional support partner. He lost... I mean, I guess he still has his job.
As long as there's crime,
he-
he's going to be Jack like hell. He's still interesting.
That's true.
I'm legit curious what happens in the next one.
It
He's,
seemed like they were setting up for a second one.
The Cynic, the Rat, and the Fist.
do you think he like hangs out with Mr. Italy a whole bunch more and he's like, Captain, you got to make new friends, man.
He's like, you're all I got. Oh, actually, I think he does get a new friend because I had a quick peek at the cast. The sequel has none other than Mr. John Saxon.
Oh, okay.
Well, somebody else has to die in it, I'm sure. So
I want to see Tansy losing his shit and John Saxon not having any of it.
It's rare you see a movie where a cop goes around and kicks people in the balls for the whole movie. That's a movie.
Like, that was the whole thing.
Like, that's not that's simple. Like, imagine, like, Denzel Washington in Training Day just kicking dudes in the nuts. That would have been great.
So, recommendations all around?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
yeah, the one that I saw was really good, pretty good quality too. Honestly, it was on I think Daily Motion.
Yeah, we will. I think all three of us watched the same version of it. It's the only one we could find. Unfortunately, we couldn't find it on any proper streaming services. So, and the Blu-ray hasn't come out yet.
There are parts where the subtitles are a little hard to read, at least for me, because the quality was not perfect. So
Yeah. I mean, it's not my hardest recommend ever.
Sure.
But it's good. It's worth a watch.
It's kind of weird because it's like, oh, if Italians made Death Wish, oh wait, but 1 year before Death Wish. So it's just like a Death Wish movie, but Italian. It's great.
Yeah, kind of perfect.
Well, he's a cop, so I guess not an architect going around killing muggers. It's a cop. So like Kinchite.
He's an architect of vengeance, Mike.
Yes. So do you hear that sound?
Okay.
Oh no.
How do you guys think Bobby and DeVito would fit into the world of the tough ones?
Very briefly. I think we'd find Bobby and DeVito on the side of the road getting beaten against the hood of the straight arrow before they'd even committed a crime.
No, that was enough, huh?
Literally, they just drove by at the wrong time.
I have one I just thought of. So remember when he was working in the office and it was like the office's licenses and some other guy comes in and they're like, no, you're in the wrong office. You need to go to the office of foreigners. So I think that they were in town trying to like set up, I don't know, they're going to sell something like weed out of their van or something. And they were trying to get licensing for it. And they show up at his office looking for permits and they're in the wrong department. So they send them to the other department.
I feel like later on in the sequel, they'll go, you know, we found out that Hunch was wrong. He actually didn't kill Farrinder. Farrinder is a whole different guy, man. Farrinder is known for the infamous orange poof.
There's a new crime lord taking over everything.
Dun, dun,
I would prefer it actually if DeVito was the Farrinder and he uses Bobby's poof like the cat where he like strokes it. Like.
Do you think DeVito would also have a hunchback?
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think DeVito is just a hunch.
You think it's a hunchback the whole time, but then like at the perfect moment, he like reaches back and pops through it, and it's like actually a gun cache.
Oh, I thought you were saying Bobby popped out of the hunch.
Like, just gives birth.
Yeah, he just pops out like an orange poof pops out of.
And runs away.
Well, guys, we just made it under the 2 hours. There's still enough air, so this door should be opening up any moment, shouldn't it?
I hope so, because I'm getting sleepy.
Wait, is that gas? Like, what is that smoke filling up this? Oh my god!
Oh no!
Is this like
No.
some sort of robotics type of situation? Like, am I gonna? Oh my god!
got no real rhythm.
Hello,